Something like this. Hit it.
The Roger Report live morning show, weekdays at 9 a.m.
Say y'all, I was on Roger's panel a few times and I couldn't take it. The heat. I got out the kitchen. It was hot. I was sweating. I had to get out.
He's Roger, and he's right.
Check this out.
We can live or die. You choose. I have spoken to you a lot of times in hatred and anger, and you have not heard me. Well, you had better hear me today. If you won't listen to me when I make an appeal for the Negroes because you have no concern for the Negroes, listen to me when I make an appeal for America. You claim you love America. Well, we love America. But you are driving us back and you are making a Samson out of us, and we are going to pull down the pillar. And then you think we have no right to ask for something? Is it too much to ask you to grant us human dignity? Should we be put down and shot to death for this request? If so, you can aim your guns. What the hell do you think we care about dying if you're going to deny us the right to live?
Good morning, folks, and welcome to another edition of the Roger Report Live, the best show on social media. If you are new to the channel, go ahead and take a moment out to hit that like button, because this is where you're going to find the best content on social media. And you don't have to worry about it because you're going to have me right here to make sure that happens. And if you've already been coming to the channel for a while, then go ahead and hit that like button, because you already know what time it is. And you know that this is where you're going to get the best content on social media. It's not a mystery to you at this point. You've seen other people do it. You've even seen some people do it well. But what you have not seen is anyone do it quite the way I do it. So make sure you hit that like button. And everyone, yes, everyone, take a moment out to share the content, y'all. There are so many people who need to get great content like this. And it's just a small thing you can do to help the world be a better place. And isn't that what we want at the end of the day? Don't we want the world to be a better place? Of course we do. So share the content out. Share it through your social media. Share it through word of mouth, or even text someone's phone. But do what you got to do to help spread the word. All right, folks, today we are coming back with another great and interesting stream. We are going to be dealing with why should men cheat versus why men shouldn't cheat, okay? Yep, that's what we're doing, y'all. Why men shouldn't cheat versus why they should cheat. I don't know what side of the fence you're going to land on. You're going to have to decide that for yourself. But we're going to see what's up. We're going to see what's up with this fence. That's what we about to do, y'all. We about to see what's up with this fence. But before I go too far into this, I want to take a quick moment out to say shout out to all the people who give me views on a regular basis, because y'all make the fam around here. Appreciate you. Shout out to all the people who leave comments out after the stream. It's nice to be engaged with, and it's good to see what's on your mind. Okay. Shout out to all the people who hype me up every chance they get. You hype me up, I'm going to keep coming back with more and more fire. That's just the way that's going to work. And shout out to all the people who hit that like button, because y'all are really helping with this algorithm to get things spread around. So these great works that we put together can be out there for more people to share. So shout out to each and every one of y'all. And shout out to the people who go above and beyond the call of duty. The people who become financial contributors here at the Roger Report Live. I appreciate y'all big time. And shout out to the one and the only John the Baptist. He is the sponsor of today's stream. Shout out to you. If you haven't had your name called, just keep in mind, y'all, All money on the wood is good at the Roger Report Live. We gonna get to you. We gonna get to you. So shout out to John the Baptist for being our sponsor of today's stream. Appreciate you big time. Appreciate you big time. Appreciate you big time. Real talk. Real talk. Thank you very much, my brother. Thank you very much. And let me give some shout outs to a few people that checked in this morning, because it's always great that when you start a show, you see a few people checking in. But y'all know how it goes around here. There can only be one. And that one today, which we like to call a great position that everybody should have a few under their belt. The Highlander of today's stream, my main man, Bruce on Wayne, who is in the building. He is the Highlander of today's stream. Shout out to you, my brother. Shout out to you. We got Shark Sims in the house. What's good, my brother? Glad to see you. Glad to see you. We also got Mr. Trail Bentley himself representing hashtag Long Live the Habitual Line Steppers. Hashtag Neroes in the Wilderness. Hashtag Dignity over Vagina. That's going to come up a lot today, I'm sure. Hashtag Al Gore's Babies. Hashtag Hail Hydra. Shout out to you, my brother. Shout out to you. We got my main man, the Great Black Reset, is in the building. We got Little Rock in the house. Great to see you. Great to see you. LS Activist here. Salute to you, my brother. Inspired True Broadcast is here. What's going down? What's going down? Great to see you. My main man, Gold P, is in the house. What's up, my brother? What's up? Chef Mike Round Table is here. Great to see you. Patrick Saint is in the house. What's good? Floyd Thompson and pulled up a seat at the cool table. Yay, yay. We got, this is their name, not what I'm saying. This is what their name is. What's this? Well, I hope I'm pronouncing this right. Some of y'all with these names, that's all I can say, y'all. Factavius Prime. Factavius Prime is in the building. Y'all come up with some interesting names, man, but Factavius Prime is in the building, y'all. He's in the building. First time seeing that name, but welcome, my brother. Welcome. That's all I'm going to say. Welcome, my brother. Welcome. Shout out to Leonard De Judah. Great to see you. Great to see you. Another newcomer as far as I know. J Bay, what's happening, my brother? What's happening? We got Afro Merchant in the building. What's good, my brother? Why Skinner Man Cave is here. What's cracking? Boy, these names. Now, I got to say also, shout out to Great Black Reset. He's coming through with the first super chat of the day. Now, he don't know what he's talking about, but he is the first super chat of the day, so I still got to thank him for getting us off to the good start. Even though he clearly ain't got it all together. But he says, Roger is wrong today. Show gonna be fire. Well, I'm gonna say he half wrong. He half wrong. I say that. He front half wrong, but he second half right. I'm gonna give him that. He front half wrong, but he is a second half right. And that's real talk, my brother. That's real talk. But I appreciate you trying, y'all. It's always good to see people try, okay? It's always good to see people try. So, y'all, we are going to deal with why men should cheat, why men shouldn't cheat, okay? There are some variables that, people will have to consider if they're going to do this thing, all right? And what are some of these variables? Well, we got to realize that, unfortunately, us in 2026, especially those who live in America, not that it ain't some other places like America out there, and shout out to all my people listening outside of America. If you live in America, you got to accept it's a lot of hoes running around out here. It's a lot of hoes running around out here, okay? I'm not saying whores. I'm not saying prostitutes who are honestly selling a box for cash, but at least they being real about it. But it's a lot of hoes running around out here, okay? Now I'm gonna say, shout out to all the prostitutes, the professional whores, okay? Shout out to them. At least they honest. I can definitely say that. I told y'all a couple times. that I actually came into contact with them without even planning to do so. Shout out to all my hoes to monetize. He said, Great Black Reset, Super Chat refund. Man, he was half right. What you want me to do? What you want me to do? All hoes to monetize. What do you want me to do about the fact that he was half right? I mean, come on, man. Come on. I gave him his credit when his credit was due. I gave it to him, I swear. Shout out to Truth Teller making himself known in the chat. Shout out to Truth Teller making himself known in the chat, y'all. Okay, y'all. This may be a sensitive subject for some, not quite as sensitive for others, but we gonna do this thing. We gonna do this thing. But let me pause for another moment. Shout out to my main man, Trail Billy, also coming through. And just like all my hosts to monetize, they helping me get off to the good start. So I do appreciate it. He says a man should never cheat. He should establish his dominion and give people the choice on how they fit within. Shout out to you, my brother. Shout out to you. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you, appreciate you, brother. And y'all, of course, chime in where you want to chime in at. Okay. Now, I'm going to say, as crazy as it may say to some, okay, I do not cheat. I don't endorse cheating. I don't particularly see cheating as a great idea. Cheating can create all kinds of I'm going to say even unnecessary complications. Unnecessary complications. All right. But today we're going to consider some of the reasons that men do cheat. And there's some reasons out here that people can use to justify some bad behavior. Because again, there's some hoes out here nowadays, y'all. We in 2026. And unfortunately, if you live in America, it's better for you to come to the understanding that there's a lot of hoes out here, okay? Now, this is the thing. There's a lot of brothers who are good men. And guess what? Hoes like to disrespect good men. And a lot of hoes make excuses. Even a lot of brothers who are not good men gonna make excuses for hoes doing negative things to good men. All right? But when you are facing women with an attitude like that, okay, you gotta be real about what you're gonna do. Shout out to all my hoes to monetize again. I see he added today, y'all. He added today. He didn't come again with this. And shout out to Trail Bentley and shout out to all my hoes to monetize who have both put up the 57-cent Trail Bentley tax. And even in this, he got the nerve to say at Trail Bentley tax refund. All my hoes to monetize is calling for refunds for everybody. This is crazy work, y'all. That's all I can say. This is crazy work. I can't even get off the show good without him pushing for refunds. I can't even get off to a good start. God, come on now, brother. Come on. Shout out to Gilgamesh. He said, "What is this cheating you're talking about, Mr. Roger Report? Von 43rd? Well, I guess if you live on 43rd Street, it don't really count, y'all. It don't really count. Now, I'm going to say this. There's a couple times I ran into some hoes, y'all, which I have mentioned in the past. I've mentioned in the past. 2 hoes jumped in my vehicle. Well, no, excuse me, not whores. Whores. Professional ladies. Okay? One was attractive, and I would call myself trying to holler at her. So that was kind of my fault that I kind of gave her a signal, and she took that signal to hop on in the car. Now, that was my fault. I was in downtown Chicago. Now, it was a lot of years ago, but she was looking good. There was no way for me to pick up on the fact that she was out here selling box. I just didn't see it. But hey, I was a much younger man, but she was very well put together. Very well put together. She didn't do anything, or she wasn't wearing anything to give me indication that she's a whore. And her price was $100. I say, okay, well, she in downtown Chicago. They probably charge a little bit more up this way if they gonna do stuff like that, so I could see it. Okay. But she was only charging $100. Okay. Now, some other stuff has happened over time. Some crazy stuff. And there was one time, another young lady that was bad as I don't know what. I wouldn't have guessed in a million years she was out there selling box. All right. So I signaled her. She got in the car. I guess if you just signal a chick and she just immediately get in the car, maybe that's, what time it is. Because they would just immediately get in the car. Okay. Shout out to double O number 7. He said, "Hey Roger, for research purposes, what was the name of that street again?" Well, if it's just for research purposes, if it's just for research purposes, 43rd. If it's just for research purposes. Now, if you really, really want to research, you want to get some real research in, you go on down to Cicero, okay? You go on down to Cicero if you want. If you want to get some bang for your buck on some research, you go on down to Cicero. Now, that's Cicero with a C. Begins with a C. You go on down to Cicero. And you can find plenty of them out there in the wild, okay? Matter of fact, that's where the second one I got, the second one I'm talking about, I don't even remember who was first and who was second, but the second one, I got them off Cicero, okay? Before I knew how they was getting down on Cicero. That's exactly what street it happened on, Cicero, okay? Bad chick. Looked like she was Arabian or something. I don't know, man, but she was bad, okay? She said $60. $60. I was like, oh, okay. Now, I've been to Vegas. Okay, the hoes in Vegas. They was talking about excuse me, not the hoes, the whores, the actual professionals. Was actual professionals. $100, y'all. $100. So yeah, I was checking out the hotel, right? This old big booty. I'm talking about bad chick. Bad chick, big booty, bad chick, y'all. I'm talking about it was stupid. It was stupid. I guess she knew her worth. She say $100, okay? $100. Why am I saying this, y'all? Why am I saying this? Because the professionals talking about $100. Professionals that don't even look like professionals. They look like regular women. Now, I don't know what to tell you, but if these regular women, regular looking women, if they only charge $100 and they professional, and then you got other women who try to get a whole lot out of a man, I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't know what to tell you. All right. Shout out to Yogi. He say, Roger was thinking, those black women are really cooperative, aren't they? Get in my car so easily. Don't know what brother's saying. They're unsubmissive are talking about. Man, I definitely didn't say that about them. Definitely didn't say that about. They was extremely submissive. Extremely, okay? Extremely. Now, I'm saying this because, there's all kinds of opportunities out here to cheat, y'all. There's all kinds of opportunities out here to cheat. There are very nice looking women who charging $100 at most. And I'm not saying there ain't no prostitutes that charge mega amounts of money. The people. I think if I remember correctly, I remember somebody saying Superhead was charging like $10,000. Other people saying, well, you know, why would you pay this type of money for a prostitute? And the people who allegedly had been with Superhead was saying, no, we paid that because that means she don't mess with regular dudes. Okay. They pay her so much to keep her away from just regular dudes, which, you know, knocks down the chance of her just catching some random disease and things like that. So there was some, you know, reason to the madness. But most chicks will never do that. But I'm just saying, these hoes is out here, y'all. These hoes is out here. All right. And those are the professionals. So if a regular chick start talking about, well, you know, if you want me to give you some boxes, it's gonna cost you $500. Shorty, you ain't good as no professional. The professional ain't charging $100. You gotta take less than her because you can't do it like her. I'm just saying. So the temptation is always there. It's so easy to fall into, you know, the women who selling box. Hey, I fell into it a couple times and I wasn't even looking for the box. Okay, wasn't even looking for the box. Just fell right in. Now, I'm a person that believes that being faithful is a good thing. I do actually believe that. Now, shout out to Gold P real quick. Let's see what he's saying. He say, all I got is $39.95 for a batch. She got to pay her own taxes. I see what you did right there. I do see what you did with the 95. I see what you did. Okay. Shout out to Trail Billy and Shark Sales. I see what you did right there. Go. I see what you did. That's hilarious. All right. Now there are some women who understand. Yeah, about $40 is the going rate out here. About $40. It's some chicks that get a little salty about that. You know, $40. I'm worth more than $40. No, you're not, because the prostitute only something for $100. So you can't be worth more than $40. I know you ain't get down like she get down. Let's be realistic out here now. Let's be realistic. But what I'm saying is, if a man wanted to cheat, it's very easy. Now, it's women that you can cheat with for free. You know, a lot of women, you know, amongst the black community, I don't care what they say, they like being side chicks. Let's keep that real. Let's keep that real. A lot of black women like being side chicks. They like it so much that we as men know, if you really want to impress a chick, show her another chick. That's what you do. Now, don't get it twisted. You can impress her because you can pull up in a little Bentley or something. You know, if you super rich, hey, it don't take all that. But you drive a Mercedes, you can impress her. Okay, you come out in a nice outfit, you can impress her. Heck, you got some clean shoes on, you can impress her. Truth be told, if you got on a white tee that you could have bought a pack of 3 for $10 at some random beauty supply shop, 3 for 10 white tees. You put on a clean white tee, she impressed. And the crazy part is you can put on a dirty white tee and she's impressed. Let's just be realistic about it, okay? But you'll have a woman tell you, well, if you want me, you're going to have to give me $300. No, I don't. I just need a dirty white tee. That's all it takes. That's all it takes. Now, you ain't got to take it from me. You can hit the streets in whatever city you want to, where you can find a bunch of black women and you can see for yourself. You ain't got to take my word for it. You know, I think, was that on Reading Rainbow where they used to say that? What show was that? They used to, you ain't got to take my word for it. You can go out there and see. All right. So with all these hoes out here, the unprofessional women, not the whores. The whores are the professionals. The hoes are the non-professionals. All right. Hoes trying to, take advantage of me. Shout out to all my hoes demonetized again. He say, Gold P, refund that brother Roger. You being cheap. Hashtag message. Now I can rock with that one. I can rock. If you say any being cheap, I can roll with that one now. That one I 100% can roll with. Appreciate you, brother. All right. Now, so we got these black men out here. A lot of women, they having issues with black men because every black man ain't just doing what they say immediately. I'm not going to say it ain't a bunch of them that still are, but every man ain't doing what they say immediately, and they don't like how that feels. So we going to get into some real things. Now, if you are a black man and you a good black man, okay, you worth being with, all right? And I'm only saying that for the hoes that going to say, that, well, what are most of them men ain't worth being. We ain't talking about them men. We talking about the ones worth being with, okay? Let's keep it real. Should they cheat or should they not cheat? Now, me personally, I've never liked the idea of cheating because I just can't see myself as a coward where I want to be with more than one woman, but I can't tell the woman that I'm with that I want to be with more than one woman. Okay? So my thing is, I ain't got time to be scared of these hoes. I ain't going to do it. Okay? I ain't going to do it. I deal with men on a regular basis. So what I look like being scared of hoes? It just don't even make sense to me. All right. Now, somebody may say, well, you know, if you're really with the woman, then that's your woman. You just can't classify her as just some random hoe. Okay. I ain't scared of her neither. I'm just keep it real. I ain't scared of her neither. I ain't scared of my mama. So, you know, whatever. You know, I done fought grown men. I'm not finna be afraid of any woman, so I don't care what the context is. It just is what it is on that note. Okay? So now, you got these good men out here, and we put up with a lot of nonsense from black women as a collective. We put up with a lot of nonsense from black women that we shouldn't even do. And women want men to be faithful to them. Now, I ain't tripping about being faithful because if I ain't want to be faithful to you, I wouldn't be with you. But there is a funny thing that goes on, especially after people get married. I don't know if y'all heard about it, but it seems like a lot of women get married to not have sex. That's part of their equation some kind of way. Now, see, back in the day, you knew if you want to have sex on a regular basis, you used to have to get married because we had women that were far more honorable back in the day. And back in the day, these honorable women, they wanted a man that loved them, who was going to take care of them, who was willing to put in some work for them. And they wanted men who would be faithful to them. But they were virgins. Let's throw that in there too now. They were virgins. They called themselves holding it to marriage. Okay, man gets married to a woman. He break the hymen. You know, he got confirmation that he the first man to be with her. You know, and over time things just kind of got a little worse and worse and worse because, you know, a lot of regular women just started turning into hoes. All right. Now, let's be realistic about it. The women will say that this man, that got something to do with men, even though we live in a country where you can't have sex with them unless they allow you to. That's just what it is. You cannot legally have sex with a woman unless she wants the dick. You know? And that's a hard thing for women because a lot of women have a very, very much, you know, big issue when you start bringing out the fact that men don't have sex with them unless they want the dick. They'll try to play innocent in all kind of ways. And I just be like, how you trying to play innocent when the man can't have sex with you unless you want the dick? And you could say all day that men want some pussy. You could say that all day. But what does that matter if she don't want the dick? So it ain't like they accidentally having sex with people. They doing what they want to do. Okay, they doing what they want to do. Shout out to all my hoes to monetize. He said, I need residuals for using the word in my name. For using the word in my name, bro. You know, come up after the show. We'll see if we can work something out, okay? Because I'm going to say something about some hoes through this stream, okay? I don't know what to tell you. I'm going to say something about some hoes in this stream, I'm sure. So come up after the show. We see if we can work something out. So now, we got these hoes out here. And over time, we've had more and more and more hoes. And now women are really trying to convince men that they should just accept hoes on a regular basis, even when it comes to marriage. they like being hoes. And not only do they like being hoes, they like blaming men because they decided to be hoes. You know? Now, I ain't never seen a man force himself on a woman. I ain't never seen it. You know, it's probably because it's illegal in this country. Probably got a lot to do with it. Ain't never seen a man force himself on a woman. Now, I ain't gonna say it ain't never happened. I know there's men who've been to jail for it, been convicted, and then they've been off to prison for it because our society doesn't accept that type of behavior. Now, conviction doesn't mean they did it, because I don't even know how you convict somebody for a crime like that unless they say they didn't have sex with the woman, and the woman say, well, no, he did have sex with me, he took it from me, and then you come up with some DNA evidence to prove that he actually had sex with the woman that he claimed he didn't. If he presents himself as a liar to the court, I can see how you can kind of start to sway in that direction. But if you got two people who say that they had sex, whether it was forced or not, if you didn't get it on tape, I don't know how you tell it was forced sex versus consensual sex. Don't even make sense to me. But that's just me being a reasonable, logical person. Now, the thing is, men get into relationships, and sometimes after being with a woman for a period of time, she becomes less sexual. You know, it's been documented with husbands, but it's been happening with people who haven't even gotten married. Well, for some reason, the woman believes that she can be in a relationship with a man, but sex should not be important if he wants it. You know? And I'm going to say that's an amazing thing to me, that you have women who won't have sex with a man that they swear to God they love. They swear to God they love this man. Okay? But then all of a sudden, they don't want to have sex with the man. Now, again, makes no sense to me, but this is the claim that is made. All right? Now, is there anything real about that? I don't know. You know? I don't know how you having sex with a man, but you don't actually, I mean, I don't know how you love a man, but you actually have an issue having sex with him. It sounds weird to me. Sounds very weird. Now, me trying to be a person of some integrity. Now, I'm not saying I'm a perfect person, okay? But I try to be a person of integrity. If I say something, I try to do what I said I'm going to do. So if I tell a woman I'm going to be exclusively with her, I'm exclusively with her. I've never cheated on any chick, okay? Now this is the thing. Do I get any cool points from women because I haven't cheated on a chick? Let's be realistic about this. No. Women don't give you cool points because you don't cheat. Matter of fact, some of them will even say negative things about you because you don't cheat. Even a woman that's supposed to be with you. That's your problem. You can't get no other chicks. You know, I've seen men go out and have sex with a woman because the woman he was with said he couldn't get no other chicks. She said he wasn't valuable. So you know what he did? He went out and had sex with somebody else. You know? And I mean, she was upset about it, but he said, you needed to know I could do it. Now, I don't know why you needed to know I could do it. But since you needed to know I could do it, I did it. You know, she was tripping about that for a while. You know, I agree with him. If you talk to a man as if you need to know he can pull other women and he go have sex with another woman, the way I look at it, that must have been what you wanted. You know, that's what makes sense to me. Now, I don't know why I took all that, you know. But hey, that's her man. That's her business. It is what it is. I don't get why I took all that. Okay. I don't need a woman to have sex with a man so she can prove to me she can get another man. I just take your word for it. It's something you shouldn't have to tell me, because I wouldn't have picked no woman who can get another man anyway. On some real talk. Okay. So now the thing is, men can be faithful or men can cheat. Now, I've never really considered. Well, no, I ain't gonna say I ain't never considered, because I have. But there is a thing about what happens when a man gets into a relationship and the woman doesn't want to have sex with him anymore. My way of clearing that up in the past is I just get rid of the woman. If I can get an indicator that a woman doesn't want to have sex with me anymore, I just get rid of her. That's what it's going to be for me. I have personally said, and some people believe it, some people don't believe it. But I've never known a woman to cheat on me. And people could say, well, they might have cheated and you didn't know. Okay, I can't argue, something that I don't know existed, because there's people who say all women cheat. Now, I don't know if all women cheat. I don't believe all women cheat. Okay, but I do believe women cheat. I definitely believe that. So, real talk for me, if a woman's not having sex with you, I don't understand why not leaving her. But I can understand if you start having kids and things, now it gets a little bit more complicated. Okay. That's why I personally wouldn't have children. I never recommend you have children with somebody that's not your wife, because that's a bigger issue at that particular point. Okay. That's a much bigger issue at that particular point. So I don't recommend having children with somebody that's not your wife, because if a woman cheat on me, I got to be able to just easily get rid of her. That would make sense to me. And there are some women who believe that you're supposed to fight for their love and things like that. They probably saw too many movies or something, too many Lifetime movies. I don't know. You ain't gonna fight. It's that simple to you. I cheat one time, you just gonna go. Yes, that's simple to me. I don't know why it ain't that simple for other people, but it is that simple to me. Okay, it's definitely that simple to me. It's really nothing for me to worry about at the end of the day. Okay, but again, that's me. It makes sense. All right. Now, because I am that way, I definitely have said, men shouldn't cheat, because I just don't believe in trying to trick people like that. I don't want to present myself as a faithful person to you and thinking I'm faithful if I'm not going to be faithful to you. I believe it's just better off to tell you that I'm going to be messing with other people. And if you got a problem with that, I mean, at the end of the day, we ain't got to be together. Okay, it's not that big a deal. Now, some people will say to me, well, can she sleep with other people? I mean, if you want to be technical, sure, because I ain't trying to wrap up, but I will say this. I prefer a woman that doesn't, because I don't know what type of man she sleep with. Women make some very odd choices when it comes to men. And a lot of times they pick men who are very much toward the opposites of each other. I know a lot of people want to believe that women have a type. But from what I can tell, women will pick the opposites of each other on a regular basis. They even pick enemies of each other. She sleep with one man because she is with a man that another man don't like. She'll break up with that man and then end up being with the man who's the enemy of the man she was just with. That ain't coincidence. I've been seeing that since high school. Okay, just boys and girls. That's not coincidence. That just tell me, all that types. I don't be buying into all that stuff, man. I buy into the stuff that I can see. Okay, the stuff that I can tell when it comes to how women gonna be, and I see them messing with all types of dudes. So women like all kinds of dick. All right, they do. And that's why you'll have somebody out here who work at McDonald's with 17 kids. One of the first stories I covered about, a man having a bunch of kids by women and being taken to child support. The man worked at McDonald's and had 17 kids. A woman was awarded something. It was less than $2 a month. It was like $1.64 or something. Maybe $1.89. She was awarded though. They split them checks up. This was a while ago, but they hit that man McDonald checkup. He had 17 kids and he worked at McDonald's. And I know black men want to believe that black women have standards. I know you want to believe that, but the evidence ain't there. That's all I can tell you. The evidence don't seem to be there. It is what it is, man. I don't know what to tell you. So when it comes down to it, should men cheat or should they not cheat? Now, this is the thing. If you're going to be in a relationship with a man and you're going to ask a man who likes to have sex to not have sex so he can be with you, I think a woman should be upfront with that in the first place. And that's real talk, y'all. I think a woman should be upfront with that. Now, when's the last time any woman that you know of talked to a man and said, look, real talk, I want to be with you, but I don't want to have sex. Are you good with that? I mean, you tell me, y'all. Do you remember that? Do any of y'all remember some woman, whether it was you, whether it was your friend, a guy you went to high school with, a guy you went to college with, a guy that attended the same church as you, a guy that was in some club with you, a guy that was in a fraternity with you? Heck, did you even see a guy on TV? Do you ever remember a story where a woman told a man straight up, I want to be with you exclusively, but I don't like having sex? Because what usually happens, especially when you first start talking to women, they start talking about how freaky they gonna be. You know, you ain't never had no box this good. They be lying like a mug. They might believe it. They might believe it. They don't be right though. You ain't never had no box like this. You know, you ain't never had that. What's that? That Gog 3000. They be making all kinds of promises. You ain't never had nobody ride it the way I ride it. You know, all kinds of nonsense, man. All kinds of nonsense they say. And then you get in a relationship with them, you know, 2, 3, 4 months down the road, then all of a sudden they don't like having sex no more. They don't want to be touched. They done told you all these great things they're going to do, but now they don't want to be touched. So now I got to look at this from a realistic standpoint. Even though I'm not going to personally endorse cheating, I'm not going to personally endorse cheating. At least I don't plan to. We'll see what happens as the show goes on. Now we got to be realistic. We got women who want exclusive relationships with men, but they do not want those men to be sexually active. Because if she's your woman and she doesn't want to have sex with you, she is literally communicating to you that she don't want you to be sexually active. Now, what kind of sense does it make for a man to be in a relationship with a woman who has nothing medically wrong with her, telling him that she does not want him to be sexually active? Because we got to look at what it's really saying, y'all. I tell y'all, communication is a big thing, but most communication is not with words. We got to learn to peep game on stuff. So a woman who wants you in an exclusive relationship, but she doesn't want to have sex with you, is telling you she doesn't want you to have sex. She don't want you having sex, period. How could the woman that loves you not want you to have sex? I'm just asking. Okay, I'm just asking. But I'm going to give the floor to Epiphany since he done came up. What you got for us, my brother?
Yeah, we don't have about enough of this. This is Roger's attempt to readjust the black man's code of conduct that we put together yesterday. This is what he does when he loses a point that he really wants to win. He holds a whole show on point number 4 because he didn't have his way. This is what's going on. But I got 2 things I want to talk about if you give me a little latitude. One is a little bit off topic, but I think you would actually appreciate this. I have finally switched sides. I do believe I had an epiphany this morning. And Jordan is better than LeBron. The epiphany I had is Chris Paul III. When I think about Chris Paul III, I don't know what team I associate him with. Now, some people say he's a Hall of Famer and one of the greatest point guards, if not the greatest point guard of all time. But how can that be if I don't know who to associate him with? That's a problem. So, for a great player to have changed so many teams, how great can he be? So, yeah, I got to get a nod to George. I
That was
had
the
an
reason.
epiphany.
Okay.
Hey,
I ain't
take
saying
your
it's a bad
victories.
reason. I'm not saying
Take
it's a
your
bad
victories.
reason.
Take your victories where you can get them, sir. That's what you got to learn how to do. Take your victories where you can get them. But that was the epiphany. Now, here's an epiphany that you finna have today about this subject. This is why you wrong. Our good buddy Shannon Sharp had a whole divorce and didn't even get the benefit of the marriage. This man got sued as if he had got divorced from a woman that he didn't even have the benefit of being married to. That's what happened when he got sued. You know how many regular brothers is going through divorce, losing half their stuff, and all kinds of things. You know how these women are concocting ways of extracting money from brothers that are out here working hard and doing what they got to do without even marrying them. And then you want to put rules on us after we commit to these chicks? No, brother. No, we got too much to lose when we commit to these women. And these creatures that we love so much are dishonest. They dishonest to themselves. And they dishonest to everybody around them. They put makeup on and wigs on and all this other kind of stuff. They don't even look like what you buying when you get them undressed. They tell you they want this, but they really want that. They lie to themselves in groups and individually all day long. And you expect for them to come to the table and really be honest with you as you're making a commitment to them. Now, you can leave a woman. You've been with her 6 months. Y'all ain't got no kids. Y'all ain't really got nothing going on. Maybe y'all sharing an apartment. Yeah, you can leave that woman, no problem. But 6 years down the line, you got kids. 10 years down the line, you got kids. 15 years down. No, bro. The rules change. I reserve the right to lie to this woman because I love her and I want to keep my family together. I reserve the right to be able to get on a plane, go down to the DR, and get my rocks off because she changed the rules. When we got married, she told me she told me she gonna give me all this loving and tender loving care and how sweet she gonna be and all that kind of stuff. And then she changed. But you want the brothers to stay where they was at, stay committed, stay truthful, and stay honest to these lying creatures. No, brother. No, we can't. We got to fight fire with fire. If they gonna be dishonest with us, we reserve the right to be dishonest with them. And that's my epiphany. I'm gonna land my plane there.
All right, all right. Let me get a couple super chats in real fast. Shout out to Emerald Edge 72. He says, shout out to the Great Black Reset. And he laughing at him though. He laughed. That laughing emoji
I
is
don't know how
there.
to take that one. I don't know.
You know,
I don't know how to take that.
he probably heard
I
you.
take my wins though. I take my wins. Thank you, brother.
He probably it was just you had to make an admission, so he probably just laughing. That's what I'm taking it as. That's how I'm taking it. Shout out to Afro Merchant. He says Epiphany Tax. Hashtag support Black men media.
No.
Hashtag long live Negroes in the wilderness. Hashtag long live the habitual line steppers. Shout out to you, my brother. Shout out to you. Appreciate you big time. Appreciate you big time. Also, shout out to all my hoes, the monetizer. One more again. He say my feet cold. Hashtag WTF Cam. Hey, brother. Hey, he doing the best he can. He doing the best he can. And I'm just gonna throw in real quick. I happened to see some random video yesterday where they talked about LeBron being the GOAT, and then they talked about Kevin Durant, and they said those are the two best players in the NBA right now. And they said how between the two best players in the NBA right now, LeBron and KD, have 6 championships. They got 5 MVPs and 6 Finals MVPs. And I was like, that's interesting fact. Interesting fact. Then they said Jordan got all that by himself. And Jordan played 15 years, and they have played, I forget exactly what the number was, but between the two of them, it's been over 40 years. So Jordan did it in 15, and they're doing it in 40 plus years. I thought maybe you saw that video and had an epiphany, but I was wrong. Okay?
No, look.
We can't change the subject of the show, my brother. We can't change the subject of the show. We got people waiting now, brother. We got people waiting.
I'm not changing it. Hey, I swear.
You said something. I acknowledge what you said. Now I'm doing you dirty because I'm going to push it right on to Black Uru because he done came up.
I knew he was coming. I knew he was coming.
We need to get back on subject. I gave you one comment off subject, but I got to stay on the subject of the show, my brother. And I got people waiting. So I know it may seem like I'm doing you dirty, but I got people waiting. So Black Guru, you have your elder privilege. You may go right ahead with a 3-minute opening statement, and then we're going to bring it back to This Penis Ain't Free for a 2-minute opening statement. Go ahead, my brother.
Hey, Raj, thanks for having me. I hope you and the other gentlemen on the panel, folks in public chat, are well. I guess my opening statement won't be very long because I think Epiphany said a lot of what I would say on the subject. I have a lot to kind of expand in various areas, but for the purposes of the time of the opening statement, I won't go into it right now. But there's one other thing that you got to consider in this thing is because a marriage in America is not between two parties; it's between essentially three parties, and the setup is essentially two parties against one. It's generally the woman in the state versus the man. So a lot of what happens, and especially on the issue of sex and whatever, is going to be the decision making is going to be predicated on that and the man's relative leverage and or lack thereof in the environment that he's in. Two men could have the exact same moral position on the issue of cheating or not cheating, and have vastly different results based on their money, their status, certainly their looks, etc. And so it's these imbalances in the way things are that why I am less inclined to encourage the majority of men to put themselves in a position where they're making a promise that nobody is going to be held to account for but them. So I'll end my opening statement.
Okay. And now we're going to hear from This Penis Ain't Free. You got the mic, my brother.
Happy Friday, Roger.
Oh, hold on one second before you go. And happy Friday, brother. Shout out to Afro Merchant. He says Black Uru putting cases on all UMFs UMFs today. What tax, okay? He putting cases on all UMFs tax. Shout out to you, my brother. Appreciate you. I don't know if that's going to happen quite the way that you think it's going to happen, though. I hear you, but I don't know if it's going to happen quite the way you think it's going to happen. And go ahead, my man. This penis ain't free. You got it now. You got it.
All right. You know what I like to say? I like to say that marriage is the biggest scam ever. Women are the biggest scammers ever. And married men are the biggest suckers ever. Married men are getting robbed every single day. They don't see it like that, but I understand. If you're married to a woman, she becomes supposedly your only supplier of sex. And she decides, for whatever reason, could be legitimate reasons and could be for her own personal reasons, to cut you off. That means that you're not getting anything, but you're still paying all the bills. You're still putting in your 16 hours every day. You're working like a slave. You're putting football number at work. You're outworking your shadow, and you're outworking 99% of all these dusty Negroes. But you're not getting anything when you go home, right? That's not fair. So if you decide to get you a new connect, a new supplier, I think that's fair. And I'm going as far as to say that not only you should get you a new connect, you should withdraw 80% of everything that you were supposed to spend on her and spend on the new connect because she's the one working for you right now. She's the one giving you the pleasure. See what I mean? And there should be laws against that. If your wife cuts you off, you should sue her. And then if she has income, you should be able to withdraw money from her income to spend on your mistress because she's your new connect now. If we were to apply these principles, especially these lawful principles, watch how quickly this quote unquote dead bedroom things go away. Imagine that your wife earns $80,000 after taxes and she has to pay your mistress $20,000 off her own paycheck because she won't do the do. Hmm? I guarantee you that your wife will turn into the biggest triple X star ever. She will be hanging by the ceiling. She will give you the gug 10,000. Forget gug 3,000. That's 10,000 now. She'll slap on your knob. She'll let you hit the back door. She'll let you do everything to her because one thing that women hate the most is seeing their money go to another woman.
Okay. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good, y'all. I see it's set up already. But we got Inspired Truth in the building. So I'm gonna go ahead and give him the mic and we gonna get into it. Go ahead,
Oh,
Inspired Truth.
all right. First off, am I coming in loud and clear?
Yes, sir.
You are.
Excellent, excellent. So, first off, happy Friday to you all on the panel. Happy Friday to you all in the chat. I hope you all have a beautiful, wonderful weekend. Let's get into this real quick. So, I think everybody's pretty much on the same page of this idea of the whole bait and switch is got to go. Like, you have essentially a contract, like a single, like an exclusivity contract. Like, this is going to be my provider for this service. And then after the contract is signed and after you've gone through all of that stuff, then the service is no longer provided. Like that is a breach of contract. When that breach of contract occurs, you're not obligated to keep on paying anymore. Like that, like you're still paying, you're not getting the service. You gotta to consider that that contract is in breach of contract. That's over. The other side of things is that women's view of reality is framed through their feelings. Like they will make a commitment and say, that was real. I really meant it at the time. I meant it when I felt like it. You don't have that same thing going on. You're a guy, you have integrity, you do stuff whether you feel like it or not. On the other side of the coin, though, it doesn't really flow that way. It doesn't really work that way. The commitments don't really mean the same thing. The commitments are more like suggestions rather than real commitments. So it's kind of a one-sided deal. That's why it kind of makes it a taxing thing to get into any commitments in the first place. So that's where I'm gonna go with it, and I'm gonna land my plane with that right there. Just bear in mind what you're actually doing and what you're actually getting. Like you're getting kind of like a one-sided commitment a lot of the times.
Well, in the one-sided commitment part, that's why I said, you're compelling men to play straight in a crooked card game. And not only is it a crooked card game, but all the other parties in that card game are specifically operating against your best interests. But yet you're going to hold him to him playing the game straight while they're pulling cards from under their shirt sleeves and behind their backs, and they're swapping, hands with each other, and that's the game you're in. And again, with all due respect, it's easy to say this stuff in in concept, but as you said, brother, you made a point, a very important point about they're going to very often they're going to agree to something because it's convenient for them to agree to in that moment, right? And then summarily, either emotional reasons or y'all have some children or maybe your financial situation change. It could be an assortment of things that happen, you know. She's going to change. She's going to flip that deal on you. You can just about guarantee it over time. That deal's going to change. Things are going to change in a way that's not going to work to your best interest. And a lot of times, men are making decisions based on their knowledge of that the almost uncertainty of that. And that's why I think in most cases when men get married, they find a woman they love, they want to be with her, they only want to be with her. I think in most cases, you're not really even thinking about having other multiple women, because if that's what you wanted to do, you probably wouldn't have wanted to necessarily marry her to begin with. So that's a part of it too. Very few men go into marriage, from the perspective of I'm going to be doing other women. Most of them have a relatively idealistic view of that woman in that situation when they go into it. And the burdens and the realities of dealing with that woman, with that marriage, all the other things that come with it, children, everything that happens to it complicates things, and it leads to you making precarious decisions, again, in a legal environment, in a regulatory environment, in a court environment that's all set up against you. And
I like
that
that.
part of this thing cannot be overstated.
I like that analogy that you put forth in the beginning, that this is a card game. And this card, you have people that try to convince you that the card game is spades when the card game is actually poker. Like, fibbing is a part of the game.
I like that analogy too. But we got one more guest who's come up, so I'm gonna go ahead and let him get the mic. Keep your hoes demonetized. You got the flow, my brother. You got the flow.
It's about time. You finally did it, Negro. You did a show that finally validates my username. Everybody up here can adapt the hashtag what money for legal precedents. I'll land my plane with that.
That's one way to put it. That's one way to put it.
Man, that's awesome. That's awesome. Hey, listen, not only are we playing poker, it's you against her, against the dealer, and the other people at the table. And some of those people at the table are your family members in most cases. Your female family members, oh, you shouldn't treat her like that. And then if she cheats on you, oh, she just made a mistake. You should forgive her. You just being cruel and all this. Bruh, this thing is rigged. And you telling us to come in here and have honor. No. This is like Game of Thrones. And you got to be like Bron. The dude with honor is the dude that's dead.
Yeah, it's even worse than that. It's like, if she cheats on you, what did you do wrong? You didn't pay her enough attention. What
Come on,
happened
bro.
with you? It's your fault.
Well, I think it's necessary to set certain precedences on the way in, because I do actually pay attention to some of the things women throw out there, and they say stuff like, "How you start is how you got to finish." So I just tell women, look, sex gonna be a daily thing. It's already gonna be some days of the month that, due to medical reasons, we're not gonna really be able to get down. It's gonna take like a week before we can get it back in. That's already an issue in itself. So we're gonna have to take like a break anyway. Now, the other days, we're just gonna be getting it in on a regular basis. It is what it is. Now, if that's a little too much for you, you need to say that now. Now, she can agree to it. Now, I'm not saying she won't agree to convince, because women do agree to stuff during convenience. But that don't mean I ain't gonna hold her to do it. And I'm gonna say this: if I ever see myself in a situation, and I understand it's tough out here, there's hard decisions that got to be made. But especially if I'm married to a woman, and for some reason we're not having sex, and it's not a medical reason, after 2 months, ain't no bills getting paid. I can't see myself going 2 months without sex and still paying bills. I just don't. I don't see that happening. I figured we're about to get divorced, so therefore there's no reason for me to pay bills. The worst thing that's gonna happen to me is I'm gonna lose a couple things that I may have lost anyway. I'll probably have bad credit, which I'll probably end up with anyway. Now, why am I saying this? Because a lot of men who got divorced lost their stuff anyway, and they ended up with bad credit. So I figure I might as well keep the money. Since it's all going to be wrecked regardless, I might as well keep the money. And then it'll just make the divorce that much easier, because by the time she figure out what's really going on and start filing that paperwork and all that, the house already gone. We ain't got to talk about the house we don't own. You know, the bank got it now. We ain't got to talk about the cars that ain't paid for. The bank got it now. Divorce should be easy. You know, and I don't know how the judge is gonna set some kind of precedent against me about some kind of lifestyle she has when we really ain't got nothing, because I start paying bills. You know, and that's just real talk. If I'm not having sex, I don't see the reason to pay bills. I might as well prepare for my next location. You know, that's what it sounds like to me. Now, that would be my response to it. There's a lot of people who say that sounds immature. And they say, you really not going to do something like that. Realistically, I'm a grown man. Every time I've had a place, I pretty much live my life in one room. And I'm just telling the truth. I live my life in one room. Do I go to the kitchen? Yes, when I'm hungry. What do I do with the food? After I prepare food, I usually come back to a room. I go to the bathroom. What do I do after I go to the bathroom? I usually come back to a room. Okay? I may wash some dishes. After I wash this, where do I go? A room. I pretty much live my life in one room. We can get rid of all this. That's what I'm thinking. It all can go. We about to have a divorce anyway. Why even put myself in a position to be able to split something up?
That credit's going to take a hit. It does cost, but that is a response.
But the men who get divorced, they credit take a hit too.
True.
So we got it where I took a hit on my credit, and she don't have a house to bring another man into, or I take a hit on my credit and she do have a house to bring another man into.
Yeah, I'll take a hit.
You know, now I'm not saying I'm an expert or really truly understand all these dynamics. I'm just telling you what's been reported. What's been reported is, and then I had a father who went through the divorce. Like I said, for a person who's not a rich man, the fact that I seen him have to buy a second house, I seen my father. He didn't go to his parents' home. He went to his brother's home. I seen my father as a grown man had to live in another man's home. So I'm maybe that's why I'm gonna see stuff a little bit different way. We don't need none of this. Ain't no marriage, obviously, if we not having sex, so we don't need none of this stuff that came in the marriage. What we need it for? The marriage don't exist. Because if we not having sex, we ain't got no marriage. That's how I look at it. You know? Wasn't sex with just one person part of why we got married in the first place? Didn't we make vows about this stuff at the altar? So why we need this couch if we bought this couch for the marriage? What we need the couch for? We don't need this microwave. We bought this microwave in this marriage. We don't need this microwave no more. The marriage over. Now, shout out to Trail Bentley, and I appreciate the 57-cent track. The 57-cent tax. He said if she's unavailable 1 week, a month for medical reason, has she consulted her dentist? Now, I'm gonna say that's something real there. That's something real. Now, I will say through the gate, y'all. If it's my wife, of course, I'm gonna care about her medical needs. So if she has some medical going on, I ain't tripping. It's the non-medical stuff that I'm not finna be cool with. And I've seen these little studies, and I've went and asked people. I told y'all it was one time I had a conversation with my friends. We sitting there, a good amount of us, we having friends. The men that was married was not having sex, and the men that were single was having sex. It didn't make no sense to me. It made no sense to me. How was I single and I'm having sex, and I got friends that's married and ain't not having sex? That don't. He come home to her every day. I be at the crib and don't know chick be there. How I'm having sex and he not? That don't make no sense.
You're helping to prove our point. You're helping to prove our point. The contract is broken so easily by them. It's so, but what you're saying is don't cheat. Listen, when you break the contract with me, all the rules is broken. Ain't no rules. Everybody go for what they know.
But I will say this though, but I have not gotten married, and I understand once you get married, it's a little bit more difficult to separate yourself from a person that you're not married to, and I do respect that. If I was in a position where sex is not on the table, that relationship is coming to an end, and that's just real talk for me.
Now
Well,
there's
I
gonna
want to
be
give
all
you,
kinds of excuses. Don't forget about the excuses. It's gonna be a
yes.
thousand and one excuses.
Listen, I want to give you a realistic understanding. This isn't somebody you're just dating and you're just screwing or you just hooking up with. This is somebody that you emotionally and physically committed your life to. You have said, I'm willing to die for you. This is where you're at with this woman. I love you so much, I'm willing to die for you. You know how much forgiveness comes with that? When she does all kinds of stuff, you forgive it because of how much you love this person. It doesn't happen overnight that you just wake up and
Well, he got caught up, y'all. His mic gone. His mic gone. I do believe I get his point though. I do believe I get his point, and that's why I'm going to say for me, I'm going to stop paying bills. If it's been 2 months and we ain't had sex, come on now. What medical thing is going on where I can't get sex for 2 months? I understand medical, but if it ain't medical, man, I ain't trying to. I'm not trying to be here for this. That's just real talk. I'm not trying to be here for this.
Well,
But
I mean, but it's a, I don't know. This is a, I'm listening to this discussion, and I'm visualizing the practicality of a lot is being proposed here. Look, no man who has got 2, 3 kids in private school or is saving for their kids' college fund, that guy is not going to just stop paying bills just because his wife ain't going to have sex with him. He ain't going to do that. I mean, even if he is willing to possibly sabotage himself and that woman and even that marriage, he's not going to do that for his children. He's not going to willfully ruin the future of his children, which is what you're proposing. He's not going to willfully ruin the future of his children for that. Now, look, if it happens, he makes some decision with some straight woman and it falls apart anyway, so be it. That happens. I mean, you can't control everything. But he's not gonna willfully do that. He's just not in most cases, unless he don't really care anything for his children, which is possible. So I'm just, look, there are reasons why men do what they do and have always done, and in particular on this issue in particular, there are reasons why most men handle this kind of thing a certain kind of way, and that's because they live life, they deal with all these things, they deal with all these decisions, and they do a quick cost benefit analysis, and they figure, hey, that's why I said earlier when we talked about this, the safest approach to this kind of thing is you go, it's Friday, you go hit something, coming to and from work on Cicero Avenue, whatever, then you go on home. That's really the safest way to deal with that. You don't get caught up emotionally. You don't do all the side stuff and all of that. No, you go and get that fury out of your system and you go on home. And most productive men do that and make it through life doing that. Most productive men do. They
There's something that
compartmentalize that. They don't make as big a deal about it, especially. And the good thing about getting older is it allows you to have much more of a perspective on it, and it allows you to take a lot of your own ego out of it. Just view it as something you're taking care of, and then you're going on with more important parts of your life.
I'm gonna say shout out real quick to Chosen One. He said if you got kids, you still need to pay the bills, okay? And a lot of people is y'all agreeing with Uru in the chat. I see. I'm gonna come back to this in a minute, but I'm gonna let Inspire Truth say what he was gonna say. Then I'm gonna get Chef Mike in here, because Chef Mike then came up. So Inspire, say what you was about to say, and then let's hear from Chef Mike's roundtable.
Oh no, I was just going to second what Uru was saying. Like he made a good point when he brought up the kids. Like when people will do a whole lot of things over kids, but on top of that, they're trying to hit off a lot of that parental alienation. Like parental alienation is really a thing, and when y'all split, and when she's in the ear, like it's you getting a very real, a very different thing. So yeah, people try and protect the future on that type of deal.
All right, real quick, we gotta have a quick change of plans. Shout out for the super chat. That this ain't the change. Shout out to LS Active. He said a lot of women aren't even capable of upholding your sexual needs for the rest of your natural life. Agreeing to monogamy post COVID is risky business. Okay, now my thing is they haven't been made to attempt. They haven't been made to attempt. But we got an Ivy Leaguer who's come back up. Team Cheat has showed back up, so I'm gonna give it to him. Then we're gonna give it to Chef Mike's Roundtable. Then we're gonna give it to Black Men Are Kings. So Team Cheat, you got it.
Hello, Roger. Good evening. Good morning, gentlemen on the panel. Hope you all are doing well. I was gonna chill in the back because I didn't have much to add. But when you said that cheating was cowardice, I took exception to that. Because as I know it, cheating is as normal or as American as apple pie. Some of the greatest things are products of cheating. Case in point, Delonte West cheating on his girlfriend with LeBron James' mom. If it wasn't for that, the Celtics might have not made it out of the Eastern Semi-Conference. Great things happened to those guys because KG, Ray Allen, they're pretty much bums, but they had to come together to get a ring, right? So because Kobe was ruling the roost. Also, who y'all all love, all y'all Chicagoans all love, Michael Jordan. Father ain't seen nowhere near 6 feet. All his brothers are under. His mom definitely. His mom got with a sick. Might have been Magic Johnson. For all we know, who knows? Yeah, but that is a product of infidelity. And you know the best player ever to ever play in Chicago. Great things have happened out of infidelity. So, and then we have on the other note. And let's not forget. I don't know why, but Henry Louis Gates, right? Viola Davis, great actor, right? Actress, great actress, right? Her granddaddy ain't her granddaddy, right? Her granddaddy ain't her granddaddy. She don't know who granddaddy is. Watch that heritage joint. Now let's move over to the other spot. Erotica. Now, sure, you can tell You're women that you're dating other women. That's all fine and dandy. But it ain't nothing like putting your love rod in another woman's mouth and thinking about 5 minutes ago it was in another woman's ass. And the level of erotica that comes from that, right? You just can't get it from integral sex, right? There's a level of erotica and mysticism and and excitement out of being trifling sexually. So I'm just gonna leave it there. Y'all gentlemen have a good night.
Okay. I'm gonna
Rising
say
ass
real
nigga.
quick.
He out of control, man. He out of
Totally out of
control.
control.
Hold on. I'm gonna say shout out to Robert Platinum, y'all. He's brave enough to side with a brother. He say, nah, I agree with Roger. Even if you have kids, struggle builds character. I mean, there's something to that. There's
You
something
know,
to that.
you, you know, every now and then we get people come in the chat and they just root for the underdog. That's just what they do.
I don't know if it's anything to do with that one, brother. But I gotta say, Truth Teller did get up here first. So we gotta get Truth Teller in, then we gotta get Chef Mike in as well, and then Black Men are King. So Truth Teller, you got your 2 minutes. Go ahead, brother.
He got minus 9,000 on his street creds.
Well,
Way,
yeah,
way, way far.
Shots
I might
fired.
lose some more what I'm about to say, because
Oh Lord.
first of all, I want to castigate the person who created the answers to the questions. Uh, I don't appreciate the gynecological direction you took when you gave us those choices of answers, and by that I mean uh, policing a man's penile abstract should not be part of our answer in any way, shape, or form. That's gynecological manipulation, and I don't appreciate it. As far as a man, whether or not he decides to go ahead and skeet, and some other ladies, uh, I think we should take a lesson from our feminist cousins. As you all know, I am a feminist. I believe in equality. And therefore, you have to take a look at the situation of the two parties involved. The man is designated with the responsibilities of taking care, i.e., protecting and providing for the woman, as well as providing the seed of life. There is nothing women can do to reciprocate that value back in any way, shape, or form. So, therefore, they have to give the man some discounts, some allotments, some rights and privileges that they themselves cannot have because they are receiving more from the relationship than they're actually giving. So, therefore, as a feminist would say, we're not talking about cheating. We're not talking about it at all. We're just talking about a man's decision to change his mind and make a choice. That's all we're talking about. And everybody should have that right, especially if they're a man. We should all be feminists. I think we need to move in that direction. Thank you.
I see what you did right there, brother. I see what you did. Chef Mike's round table. You about to take the floor, but before you take the floor, let me say, y'all, if you don't know, you are enjoying the Roger Report Live. If you have not already done so, hit that like button, okay? You have found the best show on social media. So if you want the best content that social media has to offer, make sure you subscribe right now. We do this Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. The Roger Report Live, and that is Chicago time, not where you live. Chicago time, 9 a.m. Chef Mike's Roundtable, you have the floor, my good brother.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to find yourself on this, you mean Friday. Am I coming in clear, Roger?
Yes, sir.
All right, great. Shout out to everybody on the panel. Always a privilege to share the panel with you all and everyone in the chat. I come up to actually kind of ask a couple of questions. First of all, because we're talking about should men cheat and why men shouldn't cheat. And I really want to understand who's defining the word cheat and what do we mean by cheat. Because most times we we make that word cheat synonymous with adultery, and we have a Judeo-Christian context that we wrap this all around in, and it presents a bit of confusion because if we take a Judeo-Christian point of view and we make cheating synonymous with adultery, then according to the book that this argument is based out of, men don't cheat because men can't commit adultery according to that particular book. Now, you take it for what it's worth, however you feel. But according to that book, men don't commit adultery. Women do. And if we understand that in a monogamous marriage, and I believe Black Uru made this point earlier, it's not just the man and the woman, it's the man, the woman, and the state. And I'll tell you what happened. The state took the place of that man's second wife. I'm going to let that marinate right there. I'm going to land my plane right there. And we'll continue a little bit long, a little bit later on. But just understand, monogamy is not natural. The state took your second wife.
You coming in with some mean comments, brother. I see what you on too. That's good argument. Good argument.
I ain't never agreed with Chef Mike like I agree with him today. Lord have mercy.
Chef dropping bombs.
He's Roger, and he's wrong.
Not at all. Not at all. But let me also give it to, we got Black Men Are Kings who hasn't had a chance to speak yet. So let me get him in, and then the free fall can continue. Go ahead, Black Men Are Kings.
He ain't ready.
Black Men Are Kings going once.
You better hurry up. I'm ready to rant.
Black Men Are Kings going twice. Okay, it's a free fall. Okay, it's a free fall because I'm pulling Black Men Are Kings down. I thought that was somebody I know, but now they're gonna have to verify. So we can keep it moving.
I want to warn y'all. I want to warn y'all, man. Roger is gonna stick to his point. He trying to sell us up a river today. He trying to sell us up a river.
I am not, brother. I am not. I think my point is my point. I even said yesterday when it was starting to get out of hand on the other show that I had to consider some stuff that you mentioned. A man with, you got 12, what you said, a 15 and a 14-year-old, but it don't really mean the age of the kid. As long as they're minors, there's some stuff to consider there. There's stuff to consider there. Me personally, would I cheat? No, I don't think I would ever. But I'm going to create a repercussion. That's for sure.
Okay, this is what I want you to understand. You're not playing the same game as the woman is for the same stakes. They are in it for control. The longer the relationship goes, the more money you spend, the more assets you have, the more children you have, the more control they obtain. And over time, that changes their behavior. And you're asking us to remain rigid within that.
Great back reset.
Yeah, you pot committed.
Reset.
And the state get its hooks, and for those reasons, or in combination with that, because you are becoming more esteemed and more affluent and more connected and higher status, the state is getting its hooks into you deeper too. Because once you go into the court system, you spending you quite spending 5 or 6 figures just to even litigate that potential divorce at that point. So,
but I think this is a different topic, Uru.
No, it's the same.
No,
it's
because you
not. No, it's
cheating and
not.
Hey, let
divorce is
hey
two
let
different
let let
things.
No,
let the elder speak.
Yeah.
Thank you very
no.
much.
But my point is that the decisions men will make in regards to whether, when, or how they should cheat are going to be a function of those other things. If I'm president of this bank, I'm going to handle things differently than if I'm a blue collar worker or whatever, for example.
Gotcha.
You know,
If you the janitor of
because
the
in
bank.
some respects I'm going to have more flexibility. Exactly. I'm going to have more flexibility, more assets, but then greater risk. Perfect example. Here's a perfect example. The dude who lost his job because he got caught at a concert uh, partying with the VP of HR. Y'all remember that incident?
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
Remember that incident? Now, if he is the maintenance manager or whatever of that same corporation, and he's there with the executive assistant or whatever of the department, don't nobody even know or care about them. But his status meant that what he did was a bad move, in particular because of his situation, that he was supposed to handle getting that off differently than the maintenance manager of that same company. And so where you are in your life, what you got to lose and whatever is very different. That's why you'll have a VP or I mean a CEO or whatever. He's got highly paid, highly confidential escorts, that kind of thing, because so he can better possibly control that kind of things from happening. He's not going to be as foolish. Most of them are not going to be as foolish as that particular CEO was. And they fired him not because he was cheating. They fired him because he was foolish enough
Got
to put himself
yeah.
in a position to publicly be exposed that way.
Right.
And see, I was gonna ask Great Black Reset when he was talking if he was talking about the wife or if he was talking about the state, because either one could apply. The reason it really is the state taking the place of the second wife you were supposed to have. Because if, and I'm gonna use the word cheating for the sake of conversation, but if a man quote unquote cheats, well, you gotta figure out, well, what is he cheating? He's not cheating the woman from anything, because if you're talking about a physical act, that's not what a marriage is totally made up of, a physical act. If you're talking about intimacy, that's something different, because I can have exclusive sex with my wife, but I can be totally intimate with another woman without ever touching her. Am I cheating? I didn't touch her physically. Is it a physical thing? Is it an emotional thing? Or is it a contractual thing? And if it's a contractual thing, it's the state, because I can have a falling out with my wife over another woman, but if we get divorced, it ain't us that's upset. It's the state, because I done broke a contract with the state. And see,
The
ooh,
answer
Black Ooh,
to
you brought up something. Hold on, and Black Ooh, you brought up the point of control. The reason the state is involved is because of control. The reason we have monogamy is because of control. Follow me. If Great Black Reset, if you have two wives, it's 2026, you got two wives, okay? Now, you
okay.
got a full time job. Both of your wives are going to have full time jobs. At least one of your wives are gonna have a full time job, because ain't nobody marrying somebody to just sit up in the house and do nothing. That's not going to happen. That's a fantasy. We fantasize about that all the time, but that's not a reality. So both of your wives are gonna have jobs. You're gonna have a job. That is three full time incomes coming into one house. That changes the economic landscape of your family. You have children, you don't have to pay for health care because you got it in the home. You now control votes, your family. As you multiply your family takes on your perspective. You control a voting block. It's about control, it's about power. And when we have that kind of power, the state doesn't matter, because I don't need your assistance for anything. I got everything right here, because between the three of us, we are good. This is what is truly meant by that passage in that same book. A two-core strand is strong, but a three-core strand is not easily broken. Don't tell me they talking about God because you can't put a spirit with two ropes and make it stronger. We talking about an actual physical thing. I'm gonna land my plane right there again.
I would have answered your question, that first question you asked. The answer is yes. It's both. It's both because they are on the same team. They are working together. And the longer the marriage goes, the more assets you have, the more children you have, which is an asset to the state. The children are the assets to the state. The less control you have, and the more control is exerted over you by the state via the wife that you have. I am lying to you because I love you. I'm lying to you because I love my children and I want my children to remain in the same home. I'm lying to you and I'm cheating on you because I love you enough to stay with you, even though you're not faithful to what you agreed to in the first place.
Hold on. Can I ask a? I want to ask to understand something and then make sure we in context. What is the definition of cheating?
To going I'm gonna say the main concern would be going outside the relationship when you're married. And I'm saying that because let's keep it real. If you're single and somebody cheats, you can just easily end that relationship. Ain't a
Well,
whole
that's
lot
not
to it.
what.
No, 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 no.
I need
Cheating,
clarification on what it
cheating.
is. Yeah.
This okay, you're talking to truth teller here. He's doing his thing again. So cheating would be being faithful to the agreement that you first, not being faithful to the agreement that you first made. That would be
Gotcha.
cheating.
Okay, but
Okay.
And what perspective
what
are
if
we using? Are we using a Judeo-Christian perspective? Because
No,
everybody's
no,
not
no, no.
Christian.
Okay, okay, listen.
It wouldn't matter
If
in the context you put it. It wouldn't
yeah,
matter.
so like for instance, I'm gonna give you an example. When you most men that marry a woman, or get in a relationship. Let's just say it's just a girlfriend. It's sex. It's sex. She's sexy. She's giving you the best sex. She's wearing lingerie, the bed. She's promising to keep these things up. But the more comfortable she gets in the relationship, you buy her a car, you guys get an apartment together. She doesn't have to work as much anymore. Now all of a sudden you ain't getting the sex you used to get. Now all of a sudden she's wearing raggedy clothes the bed and got curlers in her hair. She's breaking the contract because that's not what you bought. That's being unfaithful. That's cheating.
Well, so that this is my thing. So as a man, you get married to a woman, you start giving her more stuff because it's your wife. Y'all have moved into the same home. If you didn't already previously do it, you got kids together. You're taking on more concerns of hers because as a wife, she get to say, "Hey, baby, can you do this for me? Hey, baby, can you get this?" And most men are gonna say, "Okay, cool, I'll do it." If it's not something super significant. So you start giving her more, and then she gives you less sex. Now, my thing is, I know it may sound crazy, and I'm trying to consider this. What if we got kids at home? Why shouldn't I stop paying? Because I'm doing more. She's now giving me less. And now, as y'all say, the longer I'm in this with more stuff, the worse my situation can be when it goes south.
No, it's because you have equity in the relationship. You got children. You've done things together. These are things you're trying to preserve. This is why you go out and get the other woman. I don't want to leave you simply because you stopped giving me sex. I can just go find me some sex and come home and maintain the rest of the relationship.
Okay, well then should I just tell her, look, since you don't like having sex with me, I'm just gonna start having sex with other women. That way you don't have to worry about it.
Well, hold
No,
on.
you
And
should.
So
this
No,
is
you shouldn't
this
tell
is
her.
where this is where your second wife comes in. You don't have to worry about that because you have a spouse there, a
true.
wife
Right.
there to actually take care of this. It's an ecosystem, and it was
I'm in a
broken by the state, and that's why it doesn't work the way it should work because we are looking for something, and the state is in the place of the state occupies the place where we would put that particular woman. We would have our
hundred
wife, and we would have
hundred
that woman, and the state is in that spot right now.
100% in agreement with you. Henceforth, we come into these monogamous relationships, monogamous marriages, with the promise of this woman is going to fulfill our sexual desires, is going to fulfill our pleasures inside this monogamous relationship. But very rarely do they hold up that end of the bargain because of what you just said. The state has given them leverage by removing the other woman. When there is another woman and it's legal to do so involved, and the state will not take their side because of another woman, it removes leverage from them. It removes control from them.
You know, one thing I have observed recently, and this is something that all men, I think, have to consider, or most modern men have to consider. I've been watching these videos where it talks about the inherent danger of how continuous use of birth control affects a woman's attraction or what she's attracted to. A lot of men are getting in marriages with women who have been on birth control, perhaps as far back as their mid or late teen years, even, right? They develop a certain body chemistry attraction because essentially the birth control makes a woman think, her body think that she's pregnant, right? Now, in this state, a woman has certain attraction triggers in this artificial state. What we're discovering is that very often when these women come off of birth control, they are not at all attracted to the men that they were attracted to when they were on birth control. Now, here's the thing. Very often, probably in excess of at least 50 or 60% of the marriages, some guy's marrying some woman who's been on that birth control.
Yeah,
And
very
she
true.
comes off that birth control and she is not attracted to that man.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they don't, this is kind of a new thing. People come into a new understanding about this kind of thing. But think about the implications of that. All these men committed to all these women were not really naturally attracted to them, or their attraction triggers have been so manipulated by constant usage of birth control that it's distorted their view of them. And when they come off of it, the women don't want them. And I think that's a big part of why you have the sexlessness thing that is happening across the country and
I think
probably across the West. I think birth control is a big part of it.
when
And I
it
think
comes
that's a point that
to
we hadn't
marriages,
seen
when it
and
comes
kind
to
of looked
sexless
at the actual
marriages,
outcome of
I
that.
think that a lot of it has to come down to, again, like, we and I know you guys think I'm joking, but I'm not. Like, first of all, that's a great point that Uru was making, because medication does affect with your DNA. It changes your DNA, but also it affects your psyche, right? It affects how your brain processes things. But on the second hand, we also have to deal with sexual desires and sexual kinks. I propose to the panel to say that most women in today's society, because they lose their virginity at such a young age, because they're on these birth control pills, because the dopamine that they need to stay in a marriage is so high, it's like giving a Tijuana crack whore weed. She's not getting high off that. Now you put that person in a monogamous relationship, it's just not going to work because the things that you need, the biological functions that a woman needs to stay in that marriage, the dopamine, the pair bonding, shit, she can't even pair bond with her kids because she been ran through so much, and the Plan Bs and the birth controls with the genetic foods, right? Her what adrenal glands are just so destroyed that natural nature and chemistry and hormones can't do their job to keep her there. And I think that is absolutely probably the biggest reason why divorces happen around the 7 year mark. How everybody now has postpartum. Because back in the day, postpartum, what was that? Right? Postpartum's what crack whores get. Now every woman gets postpartum. And I'm not making light to women who got it, but you kind of a hoe if you got it. Uh, but like everybody got it. So I think that's something that and the thing about it is that now it's so demonized to talk about it as men because women are just so destroyed on a mental level, on a chemical level that they have to look at men and blame them because if you open up that hood, you'll say, "Oh my God." Not pass the mic on that.
My feminism gene is kicking in, y'all. I didn't hear none of what none of y'all niggas said. All I heard was they not good enough and they need to be better. So I think the women need to go ahead and woman up and do what they supposed to do. Do what's right and be a real woman and not these philandering hussies out here. We need
No,
to
no,
get on
no.
track.
That ain't what the show is about today. This is Roger trying to convince us to change
I ain't trying to convince you of nothing.
this code of conduct for the men that we didn't agree on yesterday. This
No,
ain't
no.
going back in. This is what this is. He's
This ain't
trying to
got
get this. He's trying
this.
to get this bill passed, and we veto it. This is
This,
what's going on.
this ain't got nothing to do with yesterday. This is just a show that was going to be done. They started arguing about it yesterday, so I said I would do it today. This was not even the planned show for today, my brother. But
Yeah,
since it turned into
we don't.
such an issue, I said I would do it today. At the end of the day, and I'm gonna have to throw compassionate cows under the bus because he the one put that survey up with them words, which I don't think actually gives what the show is about. Because when you say, once you put dick policing in there, because I'm not trying to police no man's dick, and I refuse to be here as a content creator and police men's dicks. I refuse to accept that. Okay, I ain't policing
But
nobody's dick. Okay.
Gotta set you up,
Roger, but
Roger.
Yeah,
Roger,
You
yeah,
already lost.
he was cold blooded today. He feeling himself because it's a Friday and stuff. He threw me right under the bus today. So I'm just gonna throw that out there. I ain't about policing no man's dick. Real talk. Heck,
but
I got on
Roger,
men for trying to police men's dicks. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't taking that one lying down. Real talk. Okay. No, my thing is we need to have a real conversation about should men cheat or should men not cheat, because at the end of the day, we got to consider the fact that there are women who will stop having sex with a man. And as I've told women to their face, if you're not going to have sex with him, tell me why he shouldn't have sex with somebody else.
Listen,
Roger, the
every
question
man.
itself,
Uh huh.
the
Go
question
ahead, Chef Mike.
itself, the question itself, um, it is policing. Because what do I care? What business of it is it of mine? What another man does with his two hands? As long as he ain't putting his two hands on me, it's not my business. So the very question is policing by nature. Because outside of that, let me show you. Ain't nobody asked anybody on the panel what color socks you got on today. What color your underwear? Because it ain't our business, and it's awkward as hell to ask something like that. Same with this question, because the undertone is policing. Policing being control, manipulation. That's what policing is, and that's what the question begs. Should we or should we not police men?
All right.
After you read that
That's not at
super chat,
all
I
what the
got a
question
comment.
said, though.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna give this man some room to redeem himself. Because shout out to Landon. Landon says, and the Lord said, "Thou shalt not place handcuffs on a man's peace." And compassion kindness all of a sudden had to come up. That's all of a
Man, because
sudden,
y'all up
though.
here
All of a
capping, man.
sudden.
I can't let y'all come up here and just
That was a
yeah.
good question, compassionate. That was a good
Look,
question.
look,
You put it
I'm
in
gonna
there
just
just right.
we gonna make it simple
Because look, as the younger member of the Roger Report, I gotta take y'all instructions back to the young niggas. So right now the question wasn't reflecting Roger's opinion or anybody's opinion. It was essentially I see what the show is about. It was along the lines of the show. Is cheating permitted for black men within the black male in group or not? And I'm gonna
take this answer back to the young niggas. So I need y'all to be definitive. That's why it was a yes or no.
no, it wasn't about policing niggas' dicks necessarily. I mean, if you agree that
We shouldn't.
that we should cheat or shouldn't cheat rather, then that kind of is policing a man's dick. But nonetheless, if I got to take y'all instructions back to an auditorium of 350
15-year-old black men, and I'm gonna tell them these are
instructions from your elder, from your leaders. This is what we think. This is what the protocol is around cheating. Somebody definitively answered.
I got you.
Please.
I got you. Here's your answer right here. And please, earlier, because I saw you wrote, oh, hot sauce in the comment. I don't understand what that's for. But anyway, here's your answer.
This nigga on rogue today. He just rogue today. But it's all good. Because I at least understand with your explanation of the term, at least I understand where you're coming from. So it's cool.
So
Go ahead.
you said a room full of teenagers, right?
350. Yep.
I'm gonna break it down so they know Jergens lotion intimately. So break it down like this: if my hand is tighter than your pussy, then they cheated. There you go.
Look, listen. This is here's one of the issues.
I mean, come on now, don't give me sayings and
shit. Just give me a definitive answer.
The answer is yes. You should cheat if the vagina in my hand with a little bit of Jergens is tighter.
Man, I got a real answer.
That is
a real answer.
See, you deal with holes all the time. You used to that loose shit. But when we come over here in the wilderness, we get grade A all of the stuff. See, you on that dopamine poor postpartum shit.
Nah, listen. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm gonna give him something he can digest. That's all.
Look, we grass fed over here. So at the end of the day, it's yes, men should cheat, but you should only cheat when her shit is like the ocean. Done.
Look, let me tell you the unwritten.
Are we cheating? What are we cheating? I need to
the
know.
State.
What game
the
are we
state.
cheating? Okay.
The
So
state.
why do we owe any obligation to the state that we know does not have our best interests at heart? The state is determined to eradicate us. So why should we play straight in a game where it's rigged against us? And this is why I asked what the definition of cheating is. Because if cheating is making yourself or putting yourself in the best possible position for a game that's rigged, then you goddamn right you should put yourself in a position as best possible in a game that's rigged. What are you cheating?
Chef Mike, you gotta understand. Some people on meat and some people on milk. Most men are out here drinking milk. They don't really understand what's happening here.
Again, you coming to me with a Judeo-Christian point of view.
No.
We ain't
This
talking
ain't got
about that.
no. That
again,
ain't got.
You're assuming that some folks get what I'm saying and some folks don't get what I'm saying. You understand? Everybody understands
No,
perfectly well what I'm saying.
chef. Let's not get caught because I get what you're saying. So let's change the wording. Not cheat, exercise options.
That's what I actually said in the actual survey. Should black men? Because again, this is amongst ourselves. I'm going to an auditorium of 14-year-old boys waiting to figure out where the direction on this to go. Do black men cheat or do black men exercise options rather? Let's not say cheat
because cheating got connotations. Do black men exercise
options? Give me a very clear answer. Don't give me a womanly answer that could be anything.
Can I give Can I
No. I try.
Hold on. I gotta say this because that exercise option literally came from me talking about cheating. I was literally on a show. Shout out to the Breakdown Women's Perspective. We were talking about cheating, and I said something about it being for cowards. And Kevin Samuels was literally in the audience, and literally that night when he got on his show, he stopped saying cheating and started saying exercise options. At the end of the day, it's avoiding accountability. That's all I've been talking about. It has nothing to do with trying to dick please somebody. It's about being afraid of women, and I don't like women.
That's a very dishonest presentation of the issue, Roger. It's a very dishonest presentation.
That's something that actually happened. And my whole thing is I'm not finna tell men to be afraid of women.
Let me.
Can I clarify to give him?
Wait.
Let me give him an answer.
I said that I was going to give an answer. Y'all keep cutting me off.
But you tried like twice already.
They keep talking over me. What you want me to do?
Okay.
This Chef Mike. And then they got privilege.
Let me talk over you right now. Shout out to Jones. He said, keep the peace.
Dirty dog. Dirty dog.
He said, keep the peace. Our sources is the American way. Okay? Now, you may go right ahead, my brother. You can go right ahead.
Okay.
She called my name one more time. All right, I got some cornbread over here.
Reset.
And all right.
I said Chef Mike has privilege. That's what I said. He has privilege.
But reset. Considering with your advice, these are keep it simple because these are 15-year-old boys.
Okay. So one of the things that's being said here, and I've heard this before, is that they're saying they're trying to teach us and younger men and younger boys to keep the moral high ground. That's a false thing to say. If I married you, if I decided to date you, and I decided to do things for you that I normally would not do for a strange woman, I have already gained the moral high ground because you are benefiting from me being with you in the first place.
Right. I can agree with that.
You understand what I'm saying? So you already have the moral high ground. The answer is yes, you should exercise your options because when they start being unfaithful to the agreement you made in the beginning, you have the right to fulfill the agreement. Whether you leave her or you have enough equity in it that you don't want to leave her, but you want to be fulfilled, go out there and get your fulfillment and go home and fulfill the rest of the obligations.
Now let me say real quick, shout out to Aisha Bay. He says, Roger's a wise man. No sex, no bills paid. Keep the moral high ground, kings. Now, I'm going to say this real quick, and I appreciate you for saying that. Look, I'm considering what y'all are saying because, thinking about it from a married perspective and the perspective of being who already have children being born in these situations, this is going to affect a lot of stuff. Now, my thing is this. I still kind of think no paying bills is a good way to approach it because once the contract is broken, the contract is broken. So if she's not fulfilling her part, she's breaking the contract. So I'm going to stop fulfilling my part. So that being a leader, protector, provider, that just got withdrawn. It is what it is. So I can do what I want at that point.
So I have a question because it seems like we're saying that you should only step out once she stopped giving sex. And I think, yes, that's cowardice. I'm talking about cheating off the rip. Even if she's doing everything well, you should still do it. Am I the only one having that conversation?
Is there anybody else who agrees to that? That you should cheat even if she's doing everything well?
So why not just have two women from the jump?
Because
I want to respond to your question, though.
But
I wanted to respond. I'm sorry, go ahead.
We talked about this. The thing about it, because this is where, like, I really disagree with Roger about being afraid of a woman. That's why you're not telling her. It's not about that. It's about the mystique, the mystery, the eroticism of it. Right? Like, you're looking at her with your piece in her mouth, and you're thinking, "Oh, I wonder how it tastes," because 5 minutes ago I was in another girl's butt. You
Nigga,
see,
Well,
you
well,
see,
I'm
I'm
saying
lying. So,
at least you're
I don't
offering
understand.
something of if it not being having something to do with fear. At least you're offering something that says it ain't about fear. Because the way I've taken it, the reason men ain't told because they've been afraid of how the woman was going to react to it.
okay, yeah, but see, but I'm not talking about that because two things I want to say. So when we talk about Judeo Christian, a man can only commit adultery if he sleeps with another married woman, and that's in Leviticus. If it's not another married woman, he cannot commit adultery. A married woman sleeps with anyone outside of her husband, that is adultery. That is Leviticus. But what I'm saying is, because like, why should men cheat or should men cheat? And it's kind of getting back to like, oh, like especially Epiphany. Epiphany sounds crazy. Oh, because she can't do this, that. I'm talking about from the jump and having great great sex, having control, and a lot of good things happen from infidelity. LeBron James and Michael Jordan are one of those, are two of those things.
You
Nigga, why
can't
you keep
prove that.
saying Jordan?
You can't prove that. I'm just saying you can't
Nigga
prove that.
keep saying Jordan.
That cannot be proven. Okay. Now I'm gonna say I'm accepting what Chef is saying too, because Chef is making a good point about if you have a certain Christian belief, then cheating ain't what you say it is. So we got. I mean, I can definitely understand and respect that as well. My thing is, I'm just not afraid of no chick. I'm gonna do what I want to do, but I do believe if I'm with a wife and I got kids, because I'm considering what y'all saying about this. I gotta really think about what should I do if I have a wife and I got, especially some smaller children. Maybe I got a 5-year-old, a 6-year-old, and a 2-year-old. You know, something like that. Yeah, that's a lot more to consider. But even thinking about that, I'm thinking the relationship is over because we're not having sex. I'm not saying she's already started having sex with another man, but to me, that's a great indicator that she's going to. If she's not going to have sex with me, she's definitely going to have sex with somebody else at some point. So I don't understand why I should keep up what I'm doing. I'm going to have to tell kids some hard truths about life, man. Sometimes adults just be on BS and they mess stuff up. And unfortunately, it affects children. Your mama one of them.
I agree with the sentiment you're talking about. There's nuance to it. When you're married, you're not quick to throw away the entire marriage all at one time.
I think you
You're
guys
just
are
not.
only going. I think you guys are only going surface level, right? So first and foremost,
Well, let me say this real quick,
yeah,
James,
yeah,
real quick. I'm saying if she refuses to have sex with you, your marriage is already gone. I've just
right.
accepted it. But go
But
ahead.
if your
So
marriage
what?
is only based on sex, you ain't got no marriage. I hate to
You,
tell
well,
you
you
that,
ain't
but if your marriage is
exactly.
only,
Hold
you
on.
ain't got no marriage.
I did not say it's only based on sex. What I'm saying is
No, no,
once the
no.
sex
You
goes, the marriage
said
is clearly
if
over.
after you said after 2 months, if we not having sex, it's over, bruh. You,
Well, hold
you,
on.
you,
So
and Roger, you know I rock with you for real, but you're talking like someone who's never been on the other side of that bridge, but giving advice on what's on the other side of that bridge.
No,
You
no,
haven't
no.
crossed that bridge, and
That's
you
not.
have an idea of what's over there, but you don't understand what's really over there
No, no.
because after 2 months of not having sex, if you're married to a woman, this is a woman that you have stood up before your family, her family, God, whoever else you believe in, and said, I'm going to commit myself to this. This is a woman that you have spent money on, invested in. You bought a ring for, and you didn't just go get a $99 ring because that's not how you operate. So you have other things to weigh in your mind, and it's not so quick to throw it away because if she is that kind of woman that you can just throw away so quickly, what the hell you married her for?
No. But look, this is what I'm saying, because I know I haven't been married, and I'm not trying to come off like I know it better than somebody who's been in that position. And I want to get to what Truth Teller is saying. Let him say what he was gonna say. What I am saying is her refusal to have sex with me is a manifestation of something else going on. It's not about the sex. She's made that choice for whatever the reasons are. I'm simply accepting that I recognize her choice. She has ended this marriage, whether I liked it or not. And I'm just recognizing she ended this thing. Now it's just about formality. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying I'm going to end the marriage because she's not giving me some. I'm saying she already ended the marriage. The way I found out was because she stopped giving me some. So now I'm just making that clear. Okay. But truth teller, go ahead what you was trying to say, brother.
I was going to say that I think we just don't understand the fundamental logic behind the designation of cheating, right? So, couple things, because it's come a few things came up in the conversation. Only a third of the states allow you to divorce for adultery. So, majority of the states we live in, that's not a reason, a viable legal reason for divorce. Although they can still get it if they just want to divorce you, they don't even have another good reason. They just want to go, they get divorced. So, therefore, the state's laws on how marriage works regarding adultery doesn't really apply because most states don't have that rule. So that ain't the reason why you can't have a second wife, right? If you do get married, legally you can't have a second wife, but you can always have a second girlfriend, a live-in, whatever. So you ain't got to have a formal wedding for a concubine. You can still have one. So that ain't really the blockage. What the blockage is our understanding of what cheating is. Most people think it's a two-way street, which is absurd. The reason why the Bible depicts cheating in that way, the way he read that scripture, is because it's a one-way street. It's only cheating from bottom up, not top down. The logic behind that is because the bottom person owes the top person more because of what the top person provides down to them. So therefore, you cannot cheat down if somebody's already under you. But you can cheat up if there's somebody above you and you're trying to go to somebody else. So I think that's the first thing we need to make sure we understand of what cheating actually is. You're under somebody else's covering, the religious context, somebody else's protection, the realistic context, and you want to actually use somebody else's protection for your own benefit at the same time, which puts the two people in conflict you trying to get protection from at the same time, which is why the cheating is only upwards, not downwards. A dude who has a chick and decides to get another one, there's no conflict between the two chicks if they're both under his umbrella. The only conflict is the emotional ones that these chicks have, right? Because they're only allotted what he allows. And if he decides you only get a fraction of what he has, that's what it is, whether there's another woman or not. That's not cheating. So I think our mindset on what it is what we need to wrap around and understand what these women are saying and what the public says is their manipulation of what it really is.
I'm going to sound very immoral right now because this is all the shit you all are saying is the reason why I'm not religious, or is an example of why I'm not a religious man. Because I think most of this is horse shit. Now, a man is expected to give all of his life to a wife and children and risk everything. And we're going to haggle about whether or not I should stick my dick in another woman when I need to.
Thank you.
No, I'm not doing this.
Thank you.
And I don't need any religious. And y'all talk all this bullshit about honor and all that is horseshit. This is a corrupt world. It will use your honor against you. I cited that example yesterday about the most honorable person in Game of Thrones got his fucking head cut off. You know, so you're expecting to be especially honorable in a world that will use your honor to cut your head off, and they'll start with the head on your dick. So I'm saying, going back to your question, Compassionate, I'm saying talk to them young men about the reality of the world they're in. Don't throw out no hackneyed pie in the sky type bullshit about honor and whatever. I would tell those young men to do what they got to do, given their situation. That's what I would tell them.
Now, before the rest of y'all go, shout out to No Placeholder. Shout out to No Place. Appreciate the super sticker, my brother. Appreciate the super sticker. And I'm going to say shout out to Compassionate Callous. He said, are we saying married women owe men fidelity, whereas men do not? I think that might be some of what we're saying. That might just be.
Why not?
Okay.
Why not?
Yeah, why not?
Why not?
Exactly.
Hold on. Why not? Why not? If I'm going to be expected to pay most of all the bills, do the protecting, make sure shit is fixed, make sure things is handled, all of that. Why not? Why not?
I mean, it's
That
hard to
sounds
come
like
up with a
fidelity
reason.
to me. That sounds like fidelity to me, don't it?
I am in 100% agreement with Black Uru. I don't know why Chef Mike came up here talking about I was making a religious argument. I was not, did not, and have not. I've been saying from the beginning. I sent the super chat in from the beginning of the show before Roger even came up here and told you he was wrong. I knew he was going to be wrong. He's
I ain't
selling
wrong
horse
though.
shit today. This is
I
what he doing.
no, I'm not selling anything. I'm having a
Nah,
discussion that need to be on the table that people ain't really had. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not.
That's what I'm doing. I'm facilitating a discussion about the two sides of the
Roger.
situation.
No,
It's that simple to me.
Roger trying to backpedal, and I'm gonna nail him to the cross today.
No,
No,
I ain't
no.
backpedaling on
He
nothing.
keep. Yeah, you is. You keep.
I'm not.
Wait. Hold on, real
I'm
quick.
not about certain.
He keeps saying we scared of women. This ain't got nothing to do with being afraid of women.
I said that's why I said that. And I haven't backpedaled off that. I'm letting the conversation have to see if there's good points on both sides. And people are making some very good points. I'm facilitating a great conversation because y'all are putting up some good points of why men should. And that's what I'm doing. Okay? That's what I'm doing, brother. And shout out to Compassion Cat. He saying and talking about truth teller. Truth is saying we start from the improper premise that men can actually cheat on women the same way women can cheat on men. Good point. And I can say I can agree with that. And shout out to Inspired Truth Broadcast. Appreciate the super chat. He said hormones do impact brain chemistry. Biblical clarifications given. This episode is fire. Shout out to the panel. And I think it is fire. And I don't know where else they having conversations about what if should men really be able to go out and do this or not on some real stuff. And at the end of the day, me, even with my belief system, I'm saying y'all are making some excellent points.
Right.
Real talk. Now, me,
Okay.
I'm still gonna stop paying bills, but I cannot say y'all ain't making good points out here.
No. To strengthen Chef Mike's point, you can't sue your boss for hiring somebody because you ain't getting the job done. You just better be lucky your ass still got a job.
Hey, that's
See,
real.
the problem. The one of the problems is we don't have any rules around governance. We don't have any governance around men who would exercise these options because everything is seen through a Western lens. We don't have any rules that say, okay, you have more than one woman. These are the rules that you have to operate by, or that we've agreed that you have to operate by. We all know how everybody is quote unquote supposed to operate according to a religious marriage. And even if you're not religious, that's the context of what we form our marriages behind. But every marriage does not look the same. Look, your what fits for you, Roger, Reset, Black Uru, it don't fit for me, don't fit for Truth, don't fit for hot sauce. Every man is different. I don't know if you need a butcher, a baker, or a candlestick maker. And it doesn't matter because at the end of the day, when you have got your fulfillment, then you can come back to the rest of the men and be productive. And we don't care how you got your fulfillment. You over here to be productive. I don't care how you got over here. I just know you're over here paying attention, locked in, ready to be productive. How you got here, I could not care less.
But I would add to sort of augment that point. But I want you to get your fulfillment, brother. Make no mistake.
Facts.
I want you to get your fulfillment. Because the last thing I need for you to do to be is in a state of turmoil over that. That's not helpful to the group. That's not helpful to the group. Are you honoring some agreement with some starfish?
They ain't let us hear what he called them, but
I thought that was me that
Hey,
went out.
I ain't
hey,
getting all in your stuff like that. I don't care. Let me tell you, I don't care. I don't care what Dr. King did. I don't. I mean, this man got his head blown open before he was 40 years old. So I don't care what he did leading up to that point. I don't care what Barack Obama did doing privately. I don't. And I don't care if it's with men or women. I don't care. It's not my business. It's not my concern. It's between you and God. In this whole business where we're going to cherry pick one particular thing, we not all this other stuff is willy-nilly, free, whatever. The woman can carry on any kind of way. She can lie, she can cheat, she can hide money, she can do all that kind of stuff. You're going to allow yourself to be held to some fallacious standard for which that it's almost guaranteed to be used and manipulated against every time.
get a move,
And
Rule.
like I said,
Get a move, Rule.
all these millions of sexless marriages are proof of it. Because I know none of those men went into those deals expecting that to happen to them. I know
Hey,
none of the men went into deals, and it's happening to the players just as much as it's happening to the nerds.
And I'm gonna say shout out to Elder Blood. He say it is so unfortunate that black men routinely confuse God's religion with the black woman's and white men's new world order. One prioritizes black men, the other prioritizes them. Now I'm gonna say, y'all, the reason we're having this conversation because a real talk. Now I did throw in a thing yesterday about should black men not cheating. As I told y'all before, the Roger Report Live ain't just about Roger. I do stuff that's good for everybody. Because if the show was just about me, I could only attract the people who's interested in my personal life. It was things that different people have said. Some was my ideas, some was some friends' ideas, some just random ideas I got from random places. But it needed to be talked about. And I'm gonna say y'all are making a very good case for why men should be able to, go outside of the marriage and do what they need to do. And I'm gonna say, to me, even as a person who would consider himself to be faithful, I still believe in consequence. That's why I wouldn't pay bills. Now, y'all are saying, well, that may not be the best thing. I ain't gonna even say y'all wrong. I just know when men get divorced, their money be wrecked and their credit be wrecked. And I figure if mine gon' get wrecked, I might as well at least reckon away with hers getting wrecked too. And ain't nobody gonna have no house at the end of it. I think it's unfortunate that children will have to suffer for what their mama did, because that's the way I'm gonna view it. I don't care how old them kids are. We're gonna go through some suffering for what your mama did. It is what it is, and y'all gonna have to reconcile that with her, because I'm not gonna allow that to be my problem.
That's the sin. That's the sin.
Yeah, but
you get that, like,
yeah,
the Bible specifically talks about how if a man does not take care of his children, he's an infidel. So
I didn't say anything about not taking care of my children. I'm saying I ain't paying no bills, which means we're gonna lose the crib and all that other stuff.
If you're wrecking yourself financially, you are negatively impacting the future of your children.
Absolutely.
Sure.
We can
See, this is the part. No. This is the part that Roger doesn't understand. He's a little short-sighted on this because he's a bachelor. When you're in a marriage, which could you imagine when you were 5, 6 years old, your father and your mother had gotten in a disagreement and he just stopped paying bills. And you living in that house.
That's fucking crazy. Stop paying your school fees from private school and shit like that over some coochie.
Yeah, your mother and your father didn't get a divorce with the first argument, with the first major disagreement. That is not what happened. That went on for years until it was intolerable. That's how honorable men are inside of these marriages. And you're asking the question of, should we do more for these women? Hell no.
No, but Roger, let me bridge. I think I can bridge the gap you're trying to make. 'Cause I get your point, and I can see, fellas, where Roger is truly a ruthless knife guy. See, I have a son, so I'm not just speaking from. In this case, I would have a child to abandon. Roger doesn't, but Roger is actually, if you really listen to Roger, he's actually quite pragmatic, almost ruthlessly pragmatic. And Roger is trying to, why he's trying to have as many bullets in the clip in terms of ramifications from a woman's decisions as possible. So he's even putting on the table, potentially to your point, Uru, wrecking his own net worth, which he's basically got the nuclear option type of mentality when it comes to these things, which I think is, you guys are right by reeling him back where he goes to extreme, but we don't have a real black men. If we being honest, we don't have a good practice or culture of being too extreme with black women and the measures we'll go to control their behavior. Do we? We don't have the reputation for being very extreme.
Yeah,
We're quite
No, we
liberal and
don't.
progressive. So I don't
but I
think we
mean,
should.
to the point of your offspring, there is such thing as like this shit is out of control. So like if you're gonna not pay bills for your kids' education, food and shelter over argument with your wife, that's diabolical.
Well,
That's
let's think
right.
about it from this. Let's think about it from this angle, though. If you really accept the nature of women, if they really only give a fuck about their nest and their offspring, the only thing you can really threaten her with is fucking up her offspring's future.
No,
No, no, no, no. They do
force
not. They do
you're
not
forcing
care in generally about their offspring. They care about they care about the exertion of control via the offspring.
yeah, they do not care about their offspring.
No,
They
they
do
care
not care
about their
about
offspring as far as it's a resource. It's a valuable resource to them. Let's take the
It's
emotions out of it. I'm not saying they
that's what
care in
they
the sense
that's
that they
what
love it.
for.
yeah.
It's a valuable resource that
Yeah,
they plan on having throughout life.
I am not willing to be horse trading and haggling with the issue of sex and in the process
Yeah,
ruining the future of my children.
right. That's the point. That's
I
the
agree with
larger.
that. I agree. I was just illustrating, I think, where Roger's coming, and he is extreme. But
No,
I agree with you
that is
ultimately,
something
Uru.
that, oh, yeah, and you know you're having this conceptual talk, but in the process you're not thinking about your own particular son in that situation, because if you did, you probably talking very different.
Well, no, no. Let me
Compassion,
say this, because I'm
because
at.
you appear to hold on, you appear to really love your son. So
Absolutely.
if you view it from that perspective, it's not even any doubt what you probably would do.
Well, Uru, let me say this. I'm not
You're not going to
married to any.
sabotage.
No, Uru, I'm not married to
Yeah, go ahead.
any course of action. What I'm saying is I'm putting all the guns and the grenades and the C4 and everything on the table, though. And when we discussing this, you're right. I love the shit out of my son, and it will
Right.
for thinking about having to abandon him and fucking his future up hurts me. But
I,
it's going to be on the table, at least for negotiation's
just
sake.
because
No,
just because I
Divorce.
have a rat in my house, just because I have a rat in my house, don't mean I'm going to
Mhm.
fucking dynamite my house.
exactly.
Yeah.
Right? But what
That's
if?
crazy.
But, okay, but what if that rat is slowly eating at the foundation and eating up the fucking up the house. Trying to be
So
half measures with the rat,
The
but
rat,
your house
the
inevitably
rat will,
gets ate anyway.
Can I jump in?
the rat will die before that house is fallen. The
No, you
rat will
moving the
die
goalpost,
before
chef.
that house
You
is. No,
you
no, no, no,
you
no, 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 no,
inventing
no.
variables,
You
chef. You
said
can't say that.
no, 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 no. No, you just said, what if the rat is gnawing at the foundation of your house, right?
Yeah,
Okay, the house is much, much larger than the rat,
it's a dog-sized
meaning,
rat, chef. It's a dog-sized rat.
okay, the house is still bigger than the flipping
But
rat.
see, we
The
getting lost in
rat
this. We
will
we getting
die
lost in the weeds,
out.
though, chef. That's what I'm saying. You can't move the
All right.
goalpost and just say the rat will die. I'm saying, I get Uru's analogy of don't throw out the baby with the bathwater. But if the
Okay,
goddamn bathroom itself is inevitably gonna catch on fire anyway, what logic is it to not take as many steps as possible if it's gonna be destroyed anyway?
Prove the
Okay,
baby
now
was
I gotta halt it there, y'all.
okay.
I gotta halt it there because I didn't give no placeholder a chance to get an opening statement. My apologies, no placeholder. Get your opening statement in. Go ahead.
Thank you, Roger. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I've been here for an hour trying to support you, Roger. It said you up here flopping. It said like a mermaid out of water. It said, and I'm trying to help you. It
I
said
feel
so.
real bad
But,
since you came for some aid and I
Yeah.
didn't get the aid
What?
in.
Wait a second. You came up here to agree with Roger? No, I think we can just keep talking. We don't need to hear this.
no. Because I was agreeing with Roger
Go ahead,
yesterday.
brother.
I was agreeing with Roger. I was agreeing with Roger yesterday. Well, anyway, I hope you guys are doing well. Happy Friday, everyone. Panel, chat,
Happy Friday,
and
brother.
all that. Yes, indeed. So yeah, I mean, I heard everything that was going on. I mean, I'm saying my position was a little harder yesterday. I'm a little softer now. Black Crew and GBR brought me around, but I'm still pretty much like 70 to 80% towards Roger's approach, which is everything that you guys are mentioning. I'm not against it, but I am, and the second thing is compassionate, highly correcting his two choices because moral high ground is the reason why I agree with Roger's approach because I mean, there's no reason for me to not say it to a woman that, hey, this is what I want. Or basically, if you want to say, look at the marriage as like the state is involved in that. So write the contract, like approach it from that perspective in the sense of like, you know what I'm saying, like, don't get married to her. You know what I'm saying? So that way she doesn't have that leverage. Or basically, I'm saying, or I don't know how to put it to you, like, be like an assisted marriage, like something like the Big Love, or basically in Utah, what you want to call it. But the point I agree with Roger is that what is this thing about? Oh, I'm in my marriage and it's not going the way I wanted to, and I'm going to basically I'm saying no. That's not how. The reason why I don't agree with that, and I agree with Kevin, and I hear what Kevin's saying about keeping everything the way it is, and da da da. But I am with Roger. If women know the value of sex for men, that's why they say women control access to sex. You know what I'm saying? So they know the value of that. They use it a lot in the beginning, like Kev said, to get you nice and riled up and basically happy, so you make the commitment. So if she gets to the point that where she truly does not want to have sex with you anymore, I'm like, okay, cheat if you want to cheat for the sake of like your children, but at that point you don't really have a marriage anyway. Because I'm like, what are you gonna do? Spend 4 years fucking another bitch while basically, you know what I'm saying? I'm like really? And I'm saying, it's like, I'm saying, I guess if it in the grand scheme of things, if that works out for you, then I'm saying it's fine and all that. I'm saying you're like living a pseudo marriage. I'm saying to a certain extent, but I don't see any difference between that in that way and like I'm saying from the point of Roger says, like, hey, I mean, you're not doing your part anymore, so I'm going to basically find ways to facilitate my wants and need because in the end,
I want.
it's going to be the same thing. You know what I'm saying,
I want to ask
yeah,
you a
go ahead, jump
question
in.
when you get done. I want to
I
ask
Yeah,
him a
go
want
ahead,
to
question.
ask
ask
Wait,
him.
wait. I want to ask him a
go
question
ahead.
because
But
Roger finna go a whole different direction because he
hold
ready.
on. But let me say this after he answers your question, I'm definitely taking the mic. After he answers your question, go ahead and get your question in.
Okay, brother. If your wife stopped having sex with you today and say it went on for 6 months, would you stop
Hmm.
paying your mortgage? Would you stop paying your mortgage? Would you stop
No,
paying the bills in the house?
no. That part I wouldn't do. I wouldn't do because the entire time I'm trying to figure out why. And if I come to the conclusion that at a certain time is that she just don't like me no more, then I'm just gonna have to get out of that marriage because I mean that's like why I'm there. I'm there because you like me, and then I'm
But what
saying
I'm
and
saying,
that's
but listen,
yeah,
listen,
yeah, go ahead.
hold on.
Yeah.
You and your children live there together with this
Hmm.
woman.
Yes. My son
If
has
you
to find that
stop
out.
paying, yeah, if you
I'm not gonna
stop
stop.
paying bills, it affects your children as well. This is why
I'm not
you're.
gonna
This
stop.
is why you're. Go ahead, go
GBR.
ahead.
I'm not gonna stop paying the bills. Like I said, during the six
Yeah,
months you mentioned, in which she stopped having sex with me, I'm gonna be talking to her and trying to figure out why is it that's the case. If I come to the conclusion that she just doesn't like me no more, you know what I'm saying? Then what I'm
right.
saying is that at that point we're going forward. Like I'm separating from you. I'm leaving this home. I'm declaring separation. Doesn't mean I'm not gonna maintain whatever is there, but I'm leaving this home. I'm declaring separation. I'm getting myself an apartment, whatever it is. And I'm getting myself a new woman. You know what I'm saying?
That's the
And then
that's the piece of it that Roger's not understanding. Like why we continue to support the household even though the quote unquote marriage is over. He doesn't
What?
understand that.
No. See, this is my thing. Just because I don't agree with it, don't mean I don't understand it. When it
Right.
comes down to it, because I don't think I'm being extreme at all. When it comes down to it, my own father had to go to his brother's house. Most
Neither did Hitler.
men,
Neither did
most
Hitler. Hitler didn't think he was being extreme.
okay,
Go
but
ahead.
I'm gonna say this though. According to the facts, when men get divorced, a lot of men end up back at their parents' home. That's a real thing that happens to real men with real jobs, real businesses, whatever it is that they're doing with their life. This is a real thing. They marry a real woman and then end up back at their mama's house, back at their daddy's house. That's where folks end up. If she refuses to have sex with me, because if it's not a medical issue, I guess possibly it's a psychological issue, whatever. If it ain't a medical issue and she's not going to have sex with me, she has already began to end that marriage. That marriage, the way it was, it don't exist anymore. I just simply know that it doesn't exist. And I'm going to start operating like it doesn't exist. And at the end of the day, yes, it's not necessarily going to be great for children. Children got to deal with a lot of negative stuff sometimes because of what their parents did. And they mama about to bring a new thing on them. That's what they mama going to do. At the end of the day, why do I need to pay for a woman that won't have sex with me? Fundamentally, I don't even like the idea of telling me I got to pay for a woman that won't have sex with me. Just like we say, okay, fundamentally, should you not cheat? Should you not cheat? Is like dick policing. Cool. If that's fundamentally dick policing, how could it not be fundamental? You're telling me to pay for a woman that refuses to have sex with me. Why I got to do that? We finna blow this up anyway. More than likely, the house won't be mine anyway. If the cars ain't paid for, whatever, I won't have use to them anyway. There's a good possibility I won't see my kids for a long time, if at all, anyway. So if all this finna happen to me anyway, how am I extreme to just say I'm gonna pull the plug myself and save me some money on the deal? My
That's why
credit
we
gonna be
lie.
bad anyway.
No, Rob.
That's why. That's why we lie.
The reality is, black men. The reality is, it's a weakness of. It's a strategical weakness that black men. It's a virtue and a weakness at the same time. That black men, any collateral damage involving children, black men are taking that option off the table in almost every case because we love children. We're that moral and virtuous. We just got to accept though. That's a glaring weakness going against anybody who does not mind having collateral damage on children or doesn't
Look,
care.
the
That's all.
society is going to go, but the society is going to go against you regardless of whatever decision you make.
Right.
Regardless of whatever
You're
decision you make, the society is going to go against you. You think just because black men love their children that it's going to make it or if they don't love their children as much, it's going to make it easier for them?
I think it would be it'd be a
Is that what you think?
demonstration I think it would be a strict demonstration of consequence. I get what you're saying, Uru, but if I was fighting against an opponent and I knew he had a strict line against anything involving children, I would know exactly. I know I can win that battle with him because I know where he won't go. If I'm willing to
No,
go there, and you said it, Uru. This whole society is corrupt. This whole society is willing to throw children down the tubes.
no society in mass is going to throw their children, throw them to the wolves.
This one
No,
is.
But
The
but
West is.
here it is. So this goes directly to what you're saying. See, the women have been telling this lie for a long time about the deadbeat dads. It's the women who don't care about the children. They only use them as leverage for control. The men, especially when they're married, care more about the children on average than the women do.
And
This is why we cheat.
Reset, pause. That is what Roger's addressing, which is why he's making because everyone knows what you just described. Black men have a clear cut. Black women and everybody knows how to navigate a disagreement and negotiate anything with a black man. He will always do what's best for the kids. The women will not.
So I'm explaining the counter. Hold on.
No, I have privilege.
I'm just saying, let him get in because he got privilege. Then I got a super chat to read, and I got to get in myself. But go ahead.
First of all, because we're making blanket statements without any evidence. Name me one race of people that don't care about their kids.
I believe the men of any race care about their kids.
Answer this question very easily. Do other races of people disown children? Is that a practice?
Oh,
Is
I
that a
know white men
practice?
do it very.
I
I know
mean,
Is that
white
a
men
it
do
Well,
it.
practice?
does happen.
some places they do, but it's under a very different system.
Chinese,
It's
Chinese,
under a very
Chinese,
different religion. It's
Chinese,
under
Chinese people do
it's
not.
under a very
White
different
man's been doing
system.
it for 400 years.
Chinese people and Asians at large do not disown their kids, especially their sons. They
Well,
do not.
but
They are 100% absolutely children first.
All
no,
right,
there.
I
Oh,
got to get into y'all because the false narratives are going a little too far if you ask me, and y'all I'm gonna
Yeah.
explain why after I read this super chat. Okay, shout out to Elder Blood. He said God never gave unwed mothers nor their kids jurisdictions over the father. Only wed mothers and her kids inherited that honor. Black women and white men's new world order changed that. Now I'm gonna say this, y'all. To me, I think there's some mental gymnastics going on and ain't nobody peeping. We're talking about a man and a woman. The woman is refusing to have sex with me. I'm already her husband. The marriage has come to an end. It's only about whether I'm accepting that the marriage come to an end or not. I'm simply accepting it. I understand things go on in her head and in her heart. The things she do are a manifestation of those things. So my wife refusing to have sex with me, even though she does not have a physical ailment, she is communicating to me that the marriage is over. Me recognizing that the marriage is over, I'm not going to pay the bills. This has nothing to do with whether I love my children or not. My wife has decided my children need to go through something, and I can't stop her from making that decision. I can't stop her from going through with a divorce. That's what she wants to happen. I'm going to explain to my children, your mother created a situation that may negatively affect you. This is called real life. As your father, it is my job to prepare you for real life and have to get an understanding that sometimes uncomfortable things are going to happen. And if you don't like it, thank your mama. This ain't got nothing to do with
Amen.
whether I love my kids or not.
Amen. Amen.
I don't even
Amen.
Listen,
understand why we arguing this as if I'm abandoning my. I never said I'm not gonna talk to my kids, but there is the reality that my kids may be kept away from me. That's a real
this is
thing that might happen. So why continue to pay and all this bad stuff is probably gonna happen to me anyway? I could just save my money, get rid of these properties, get the divorce done a lot faster, and get on with what happens after we divorce.
we are having a counter narrative because it goes directly to the question of should men cheat or not. This is why we're having this counter narrative. The
Okay,
reason
hold on.
PBR.
why.
Well, before you say that,
No, listen. Somebody
hold on, before
let
you
me
say it,
finish the
hold that
sentence.
point, hold that point, hold that point. Shout out to Jones. He said the key word being there. Why should I care about your kids? I don't care. Why should I? Now, my thing is, hey, that's a real thing. If we ain't gonna operate like these kids is mine, yeah, why should I care? Even though my kids gonna always have my back. I mean, I'm always have my kids back. I just ain't got their mama back. That's all. And of course, and unfortunately, the mama put me in a position where I can't pay for this house no more because I'm not paying for the woman. I'm not having. I refuse to pay for a woman that won't have sex with me, and she's supposed to be the person having sex with me. I refuse. I'm just not gonna do it.
Roger.
But go ahead with your.
There's a
No, I'm gonna let him get
no,
his
no,
word
no.
in, and then
Let
you
me
get.
finish my
Let
point.
no placeholder go right after
Go
you.
ahead.
Bring
Go
it
ahead.
back to me. Say, go ahead.
All right.
There's a portion of this that you're completely missing. It's the marriage portion. When you're married, when you're in an unhappy marriage with your children present, this is important to a married man to be present with his children. This is why some men cheat instead of leaving because they want to be present with their children. Because when you separate from these women, especially black women, you are submitting your child to an environment where they are going to be groomed to have disdain for you. And some of us try to avoid that, and we rather cover the cost of taking care of this woman and having a healthier environment for our children. Does that make sense?
I'm gonna say that's a
It
good
makes sense
point,
to
but I
me.
have a counterpoint after no placeholder to get his word in.
No, make your counterpoint, Roger. I don't want you to forget it. Go ahead, make your counterpoint.
Hey, bro, at the end of the day, once I stop paying bills, I have money to get a new apartment. I'm not going to get a new house because we're still legally married. So I'm going to wait for that. I'm going to keep that money. Well, and then when this stuff crash and burn, I'm going to my new apartment and my kids going to be able to come to my new apartment. They can be with me. I don't know what she going to have going on, but my kids and me going to have an apartment to go to.
Okay, so here's what I heard a couple different things in GBR. GBR is talking about the idea of staying and having a side chick and just paying and basically I'm saying versus basically a full separation acknowledgement that she is not doing her part. So I mean I kind of sit in between where I will get separated and I just keep paying my bill because I know legally speaking half of that house is still mine, Roger. So I'm not gonna make all them payments over that many years, and then basically let the bank come for the house and put it on foreclosure on. I'm just gonna keep making my payments so that way, I'm legally speaking, I might be able to negotiate a way to get half my money back. You know what I'm saying, even if she has to buy me out, and there's still a possibility I can get 50-50 custody with my children. You know what I'm saying, maybe not in that same house. So these are reasons why I wouldn't wreck it, Roger. But it's up to you.
Well, I would say that if my children are able to live with me, according to what I understand about divorce law, when they start going through the divorce laws, they start looking at what's already happening. So I'm gonna make sure my kids got a place already. Now, me losing out on that house, I can't control that factor. Which women gonna buy the house from you? They don't do that type of stuff. Usual cases is the man give up ownership of the house and he still ends up paying for the house. That's how it normally goes. So I can't pass this house down to my kids regardless. So why keep putting
No,
more
Roger.
money into something I cannot pass down to my children?
You don't
See,
normally
Roger,
not
but
just pay.
the
Go ahead.
way
Go ahead.
the,
Go ahead,
the
Shaq.
way you sound and the way you make it sound, it's from and before you react, just hear me out. It's from a position of fear. You know, it's no different than somebody saying, "Hey, I ain't gonna go out on the football field. Hey, somebody might get they leg broke. Somebody might catch a concussion. Yeah, things happen, but you don't sit on the bench just because things could happen. And when you cite, I saw this happen. This happens to men. It sounds like that kid that's on the bench that's afraid to get into the game. Now, I'm not charging you with anything or accusing you of anything. I'm just saying what I hear. It sounds like from a point of fear. And at some point, no matter who you are, you can vet the woman as much as possible. You can have all of your ducks in a row. But at the end of the day, you're gonna have to grab your scrotum and jump out the window and pray. I don't care who you with because you don't know what's going to happen. And see, these are the kinds of things that only make sense once you cross that threshold. Once you've held your own child, you that has now manifested, once you held that in your arms and you look down at a reflection of yourself, your entire disposition changes. And that only comes with that experience. That can never, ever, ever be expressed to where you will understand it. You actually have to have that experience. And once you have that experience, your position will change.
All right, let me read this from Afro Merchant. Shout out to you, brother. Appreciate you big time. He says, black men don't, hashtag black men don't cheat. Hashtag black men are elite. Hashtag long live the habitual line steppers. Now, I'm going to say this, y'all. Because I am considering all the stuff y'all saying. I'm just looking at stuff from a practical situation based on the data that I've been able to see at this point. If she's not having sex with a man, she has a reason for that. It's not physical. We already know that. So there's something else. She is ending that marriage. Period. She's already gave me that information. I listened to her when she communicated to me. It just wasn't a verbal communication. My children will always be welcome wherever I am. I might as well start preparing a new place for them because the place we have is going down the tube. Because more than likely, she's not going to take responsibility of that place. Now, if she wants to, that's fine. But that's on her at the end of the day. That's on her. I'm gonna put money into something I can give to my children because I got children now. In this point, I gotta put money in the thing I can give to them, not the thing that I can't give to them. Maybe the mama keeps it. Maybe she eventually give it to them. I can't give it to them, so ain't no point in my name being on it. Ain't no point in me paying for it. If she want to resolve that and pay for that place, she's welcome to do so. I'll put money where it's gonna matter. That's all I'm looking at. So I'm not even looking at it from a place of fear. I'm just trying to do something that's going to actually work. And based on what I've seen in this, what's happening in America, when the men get divorced, they lose their home, and unfortunately, a lot of them lose their children. And a lot of times, the judge rules based on things that are happening right now. So when the mom has custody of the kids on some right now stuff, they look at that. I'll at least want to show that I have a place for my children. She's an irresponsible mother. That's why she don't have a place for them. I at least want to be able to claim that. If they was with me, they'd be in a place where they have their own room. They, you know what I'm saying? Everything's fine over where I live. I got this nice new place, and they're very much welcome. Yeah. Now I can't control what other people gonna do.
I mean
but I
that I mean that all sounds good. And like I said, to me, again, with all due respect, that's why I'm for letting a man decide how he gonna handle that particular part of his life. I really am. Because I don't think it's again, in this legal environment and all of that, and people make decisions about their family and their future and their legacy. And that's one of these areas of life in civil society. That's one of the areas of our existence as male mammals that this society is not accommodating of. This civilization is not accommodating of. There's no decision you're going to make there that's going to be foolproof. There's no agreement you're going to make with a woman that's going to hold up over the long term. And it's definitely not going to be one that the courts are going to honor, not regarding sex. Nobody's going to honor that. Nobody's going to respect that. Whatever deal you do, you're going into it sort of on a short-term basis of at what point when what was great, what we was doing before, partying, swinging, and whatever the hell we was doing, what was great before, when is she gonna blow this all up? So you're gonna either go into a marriage a eunuch, sexless, because chances are she's gonna flip the script on you, or you're gonna blow up your family. You're going to blow up your family. You're going to blow up the marriage. You're probably going to potentially wreck the future of your son, in particular, black male in America once you all divorce. And then you got to fight with the courts over being able to see your son. There's nothing. There is no, in my view, proper way to deal with that. Now, if we were in Islam, we were in the Middle East or some other environment where there was some more honor in the society and the respect for men in regards to that issue and respect for the virility of men in regards to that issue, then you can do some honorable dealing. You can't do any honorable dealing here on that issue. You can make a contract to buy a home, you can make a contract to buy a business, whatever, and for the most part, the society will uphold those rules. This society will not uphold those rules with respect to what you want to do with your dick. And for that reason, I am not for locking down on any particular criteria, especially not on a black man. Do what's best for you. So again, to answer your question, compassionate, I would tell that group of young 15, 16-year-olds, figure out whatever leverage you have in life and then do what's best for you in the situation. And I would also recommend don't exclusively deal with FBA women, because chances are you might be able to get a deal done with some other woman that you can't get done with them.
Yeah, absolutely. If I can add on to that, if we're saying like about marriage, I would say this is not the environment to get married in at all. So I would tell those kids to definitely go abroad, passport bro it or something. But whatever you do, do not get married in America. Whatever you do.
All right. Now I'm gonna say when it for me, I do think we have had a great discussion. I think this has been a great discussion that kind of shows why cheating should not, not cheating should not be a rule for black men to adopt on an overall standpoint. And I'm going to say shout out to Chosen One. He says, hey, Roger, in a marriage, judges can penalize financial abandonment. Well, I'm going to say this, brother. By me not paying the bills, if I get a fine, I should be able to pay for it. I don't have bill money. So we'll be all right. Okay, we'll be all right. I think for me, the best move I can make with a woman who's become my enemy, because I'm taking this as a recognition that she has become my enemy. I think the best thing for me to do is make sure I'm good. If I have kids, I'm gonna make sure my kids good. So I'm gonna get a nice apartment somewhere. Not gonna put no money on another house because I'm married. So that legally, that ain't gonna work out for me. I know that. So I just go get a nice apartment for me and the kids to be okay in, and then we'll just see how I cope from there. But at the end of the day, I don't want to pay for this woman who don't want to have sex with me. I don't like that as a general idea that I'm supposed to be exclusive sexually with this woman and she don't want to have sex with me, but I'm still supposed to pay. That don't sound right for me. I think I'm just fundamentally against that idea. Just period. I just am. And shout out to LS Active. He said, "Will the kids respect you if you have nothing at the end of it, and got dog walked by your ex-wife? They might grow up and say, couldn't be me. Laugh out loud." Well, we never know how kids are gonna act. We don't know that. Some will respect your decision, some will not, regardless of what decision you make. Look, y'all, my father got a divorce. My father was around so much, I really can't even remember when they got a divorce. As I grew up, though, I couldn't even understand why he was still doing so much after he was divorced. But my father, he came to his reason and conclusion. So that's what I'm saying. I can understand the arguments that y'all are making because I've seen men go through great strides, including my father, where they did what I would even consider too much after they was divorced. But it's their children, so I kind of get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't say a man overdid it for his own kids. That doesn't make sense to me either.
What would
That
you
question.
be? What would you be? What would you be had your father not done all of that?
Well, probably not as good as
What
I
would you
am.
be?
Real talk. You know.
Yeah.
That
So
that
your
question.
What you're
father
saying is,
made the decision. Your father made the decision that, in spite of your mother and whatever decision she made in that regard, I'm still going to put my children first. My
Roger, you're
children
foul.
first.
Roger,
That's what he
you're
did.
foul. Roger, you're foul, bro. You're really
What you
foul.
That's what he
talking
did.
about? How am I foul?
You foul. Because
My-
your father didn't sacrifice your future well-being, but if God forbid it happened to you, you're gonna be well, I'm gonna do something different. That's foul, bro. That's
I
foul.
did not say I'm gonna sacrifice my
facts.
kids' future. I just said I ain't paying for
Yes.
that house no more.
But
Well,
you're doing
Roger,
the
what do
opposite
you
of
think
what
that
your
is
father did,
saying?
right?
What do
But
you think that is saying, Roger?
It said my kids gonna have to move.
did your father
But they're
make
gonna have to move
what
not
you're
because
saying.
you're strong enough.
You saying, damn, know it. You don't recognize
The
doing it on purpose, but
the
that's what
the
you're
number
saying.
one the number one the number one source of wealth in America for most people is the
is there?
equity they have in their home.
Yep.
What most people, the wealth that they pass on to their children, most of that wealth will be in their home, to the extent they're able to pass anything on. It's the biggest reason why there's such a big disparity in wealth between white people and black people. It's the
Absolutely.
value of their homes.
Almost. Yep.
So
And
Or
did your father
you're
make
talking about that's a let me finish. That's a strategic decision you make when you willfully decide not to pay that mortgage. That's a strategic decision.
And did your father move you out?
No, he didn't move me out.
So you man.
I don't know what you're
Bro,
talking about.
what you're doing, what you're saying is because of how I will feel about this potential issue that may come up. My feelings are more important than the well being of my children. You don't know that's what you're saying, but that's what you're saying.
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm
Well,
saying is there's different
it
forms of
is.
communication. And when a woman doesn't want to have sex with a man, she's communicating the fact that she does not want to be with you. I simply accepted the
So
communication
what?
for what it was. That's it. I accepted
So
it for what
what?
it was, and I made adjustments.
Her communication is less important than the children you produce.
Now my children gonna be fine. They still got
No, they're
needs.
not.
They
No,
are.
they don't. You're saying it cut and dry, hey, she's not gonna get in the way of me being in my children's life after I leave. It's just gonna be simple. I'm gonna get a place and they gonna come see me over here. No, that woman's going to hate your guts. She's
I
gonna do
plan.
everything she can to get in the way of you and your children.
Wait,
I'm
hold
going
on,
to
reset.
plan to
Hold
have
on, reset.
custody.
Hold on, reset. Hold on, because I don't think Roger heard what Black Uru said. Black Uru said there is no contingency plan that you gonna make that's gonna get you out of this. What court of law is going to acknowledge and agree with you based on the fact that you and your wife ain't dancing horizontally? It's never going to happen. You can talk that, but the only place that that's gonna happen is in Narnia. That is not a reality, my friend. And that
I
is a
mean,
false narrative that you keep pushing.
the court would more readily accept you saying, "Look, I was smashing Keisha on the side because of deprivation of affections." The court would much more readily accept that.
But anyway,
I'm,
bro,
I'm,
all I know is that your father taught you better, and you haven't you know that messed up. You know you messed up when the me and Epiphany agree, because right now you're like, I feel neglected and emotionally abandoned, and so since your mom is doing that to me, I'm gonna do that to y'all instead of getting some free coochie, which America is full of, Chicago is super duper full of, and just going to pay
come
those
on,
bills
man.
on that house.
Man,
Yeah,
take
that's
take
crazy.
your
That's crazy.
take your take your butt down there to Cicero Ave Institute of Research. Get off, and then
Yep.
take your butt home and pay them bills, man.
Institute of Research. Yeah.
Fact,
Look,
because now,
man.
Roger, watch
Yep.
this now. If you follow through with what you said, let me show you the impact, the ripple effect of what your decision, how that impacts everybody else. Your woman ain't having sex with you for 2 months. You leave. You don't put her out. You leave the asset. You get into more debt because now you got to go buy an apartment. You split the places where your children can be. You crack their solid foundation because of how you feel of
Hmm.
2 months not getting any sex. So now you split your home, you split your family, you incurred more debt, you've opened the narrative for her to craft. Because whether you accept it or not, most judges gonna get them children to that woman. I don't care what you say. And in all of your contingent retaliations, it ends up with you in jail somewhere. And that takes you out of the community of us productive men. That takes you away from the sharpening, the iron sharpening iron, because you made a decision based on your feelings. Now your dumb ass done gone to jail.
Yep.
Yeah, and now by your policies, we got to put you out the community. You out of here.
I gotta not only
Because
take your
all
soup,
because
but I can't invite you to the cookout.
Yeah, I mean, and all because Roger, you just give me a call, bro. We will have women. We will be eating sushi off of naked women, doing cocaine off ass, and all. You mean,
Bruh. Now, and you know, again, you got to be really wrong if me, Hot Sauce, and GB are on the same page. Look, Roger, you know Hot Sauce, you know True Teller, you know
STD
to keep you
free,
in your house.
STD free, coochie brother, STD.
Just saying, Roger. Yeah, you by yourself on this one.
Hey, I think I'm just instituting something new.
No,
And new
yeah,
means by
some
yourself
you
sometimes. That's
feeling
all. No, it's just
you
something. No, it's just
feeling
something. It's
something
just
new.
something new.
That's wild,
Okay,
brother.
so
That's wild.
if it's not feelings, Roger, then I want you to logically take us through that. Now, if you can logically get us to agree with what you're saying, then you have done it with logic. We cannot argue
Oh,
with logic.
okay. Look,
But what you're doing is trying to get us to agree with your feelings. I'm so
no,
sorry, that don't work.
I would never ask y'all to do such a thing. But in reality, there's psychological
And we
things that
wouldn't
go.
let you do that.
Yeah,
So
and
hold on, Roger. Let me ask you this really
No,
quick. Let me ask you
look,
this.
I think Roger is
Hold on,
trying to
wait. Let me
assert
finish. Let me
a
finish. Let me
high.
finish. Roger, really quickly. When you stop paying the bills and with your children or with your wife, ex-wife, what are you going to say to your father when he looks you in the eyes and be like, "What's going on?"
I'm just gonna tell him what I did. It ain't gonna be no thing. I'm gonna tell him.
Fucking shame. Fucking shame, man. Just fucking shame.
Now,
You
now
gonna
black.
hold on? You gonna sit there to the man that did the opposite for you, and you gonna sit there and tell that man what? Get Roger out this community, guys.
I'm like, Dad, I tried something different. But go ahead, what you say, Black Rule. I'm gonna say something real quick. Then I'm gonna bring into it in here because he just came up. Go ahead, Black Rule. What you was about to say?
Some
Well,
bullshit.
no, look, I respect that you're trying to assert this moral standard, this high moral standard. I get it. I understand and I appreciate it. I'm not religious, so to some degree, I think are different. I'll just say my view of this, I think to some degree is different from yours because I'm not a religious man. I'm if I were to define myself, I'd say I am a practical realist, right? And my opinion on this subject is me being a very practical realist. And my view of this is again because there is no honor really on the other side of this. Then, from a practical perspective, in the reality of it, there is no honor of it. So, on a practical basis, what do I need to do practically as a result of this being a dishonorable situation? Well, these are the things that I would do practically in the situation, given everything else that I'm confronted with in this current world. So to some degree, it's nihilistic, or some people might think it's nihilistic, but it's really mostly just look. I know they're out to get me, whatever I do. So I'm going to do what I'm most comfortable with and I think I'm more likely to be able to pull off, accepting the fact that the possibility that if and when it falls through, then I'm going to have to deal with some stuff as well. But here's the thing: history says it's going to fall through regardless. History says she's going to cheat on me, or she's not going to want to have sex with me, or for a whole lot of reasons. This thing isn't going to work anyway. So the practical realist in me says, this is what I'm going to do as a result of this being a dishonorable world. If I'm in Islam or I'm in the Middle East or somewhere else, maybe Asia, some other place, someplace where there is a more earnest appreciation for the virility of men, then my approach to this would probably be more akin to yours.
Okay, well, I'm gonna say since we already have established there ain't no honor in the system anyway, and I'm just trying to be practical on what's going on. Now, I'm gonna say that there's a lot of people in the world of psychology that's gonna say that what the woman is doing is not about the sex. It's about other things that are going on in her life. Now, that woman could have came to me with those other things, but she decided to go with the no sex. That's what she made a decision to do. She decided that marriage wasn't worth, quote unquote, fighting for. That's her business at the end of the day. I don't control her. I'm simply accepting what move she made. Once I accepted that move, I need to make sure I do what's best for me and my children. So would I leave because I'm not paying bills? No. They'll eventually come to put us out, but that'll give me time to start putting money up. I get a few months before they send somebody or they do the paperwork process is completed for us to get evicted. So I'm just going to keep my money. It'll be a little while before they figure out what's going on. The lights ain't going to go off immediately. You could miss the first or the second month bill or whatever. I don't know how many bills you can miss, but I know I can miss a couple before the circumstances start affecting the actual house as far as the lights going off or the gas going off and all that type of stuff. So I got time to stack some bread. Now, at the end of it, I'm going to have to tell my kids a sad thing. Yeah, me and your mama ain't getting along. Your mama wants a divorce, and we going to have to split up. Now, y'all welcome to come with me because I got a place. Okay, I got a nice new place on the other side of town, whatever it's going to be, and y'all come stay with me. Put the kids in my custody, so when they have us in court, and they always in a court is about, well, we trying to keep stuff the way it is. The kids can already be with me to give me an advantage. It is what it is. Mom, I'm not gonna concern myself with the well-being of her because she's not concerned with the well-being of me. So whatever happened to her just happened to her. Good luck to her. I have zero concern about where she's going. And that's just real talk. Zero concern. And the court gonna play out the way it's gonna play out. Now, if this gives me an advantage where I can gain custody over the kids because I already got a place for them to be, then I win. And if I don't win, I'm in the same boat that most men in anyway. So I didn't lose. So,
Yes, you did.
I lost the same way men usually lose.
Okay. So if everybody jump off the bridge, you have to jump off the bridge too?
I ain't trying to jump off the bridge. I'm trying something
different. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're just taking a different road to get to the same result. That's not different. You're gonna have the same result. How is that different? What do you mean you smell something different? No, you just going down a different road to get the same shitty result. You just dressing it up as something different in your head. We see you're gonna get the same dumb shit everybody else get. But that's what you think you should get. That's why you're planning the way you're planning, because that's what you believe you should have. That's the same, brother. That ain't different. I never thought I'd use this word on this panel, but bro, that is delusional thinking. If you think that you're gonna get an advantage in this system that is designed to operate on your disadvantage, that is delusional thinking, my friend.
What I'm saying is, I'm gonna shoot for an extraordinary result. If I can't get the extraordinary, I'll end up with the ordinary. And if I was going to end up with the ordinary regardless,
you're gonna shoot yourself in the foot.
PhD. Hold on, you're gonna be the woman with the PhD and the ex-stripper. You're gonna get the same result. Both gonna end up in the same spot. That's just gonna be you. You just gonna be the one with the PhD, because I know you ain't no stripper. So hey, come on, dog. You doing the same shit. And this is what you would advise the younger men to do. Just take a different route to get to this same goddamn valley that I'm in. No, sir. No, sir. No, sir.
Roger, you're an intelligent brother. You're a very smart brother. But there is a such thing as being too smart for your own good. This is it.
I'm gonna give the floor over to Intuit. Brunt came up, but he got knocked off. If he come back, I'm gonna let him get in too. Depending on how it's go, we might do a little bit of overtime, which I really wasn't planning for, but we might go a little bit of overtime. But at the end of the day, man, Yeah, I got to find that line from the Captain America movie. I think it was. Sometimes you got to plant yourself as a tree, and when everybody else move, you just got to stand there and not move. It is what it is, man. And shout out to Landon. He said, "Off the bridge I go."
Yeah,
I put,
Roger got all the bridge with a smile.
man, you got to be happy no matter what's going on. You got to be happy. I
See, there
control
you
that.
go. There you go. Push it. You know what, Roger? You can't say nothing for the next 3 minutes. Let somebody have an opening statement, sir. Thank you.
Well, into it, you got the flow, my brother.
Hey, can you hear me? Can you guys hear me out there?
Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah, we can hear
All
you.
right, all right. I see Roger got y'all going today. And what I heard somebody say, give somebody else the mic for 3 minutes. So I mean, I got 3 minutes. No, I don't know what's been going on. You guys been up here about another 3 hours, so I please don't come at me for saying whatever. But I just looked at the title and I'm just going with whatever it is, and then I'll listen to whatever you guys got to say. Seems like an interesting subject. I don't think men even need to cheat. I don't think men need to cheat. I was watching a video from a psychologist the other day talking about most women, as soon as they get married, most women cut off the sex to men. Sex starts to slow down. Women attempt to control. Before marriage, sex is good. After marriage, most men are get cut off, and women attempt to use sex in a marriage as some way of negotiating other things in the marriage. Remember, by nature, women are hypergamous, whatever you want to call it. That
Hypergamous.
hypergamy exists with them. So they look at your hypergamous. So they're looking to negotiate other things now. So what I see is you shouldn't have to cheat. If the woman's not giving you sex, you're gonna have to slowly start. Hey, I've been married twice. Don't have a real good relationship with my daughter right now. I think I did cheat in my first marriage, um, and I think that's one of the reasons I don't have a good relationship with my daughter right now. But I understand why some men cheat, and then as I grew up, I realized I just needed to be honest about what my needs were, and if those needs can't be met by the woman I'm with, I need to let her know that hey, we can stay in this marriage. I love you, but if we not doing this, I'm getting ready to go get this. I'm getting ready to go get this over here. If you got a problem with that, then we need to look at something else. And I right now I'm in a marriage. I'm pretty much satisfied. I've gotten older or whatever, but I think men need to communicate. I think if you just don't even use the word cheat. Roger got that trick word up there again. You should try not to cheat because if a woman has needs, try to meet those needs. But if you got needs, which usually is the man because the woman's using it, just go ahead and let her know, hey, I'm gonna step up to the plate and get something somewhere else if I need to. That's all I gotta say.
I was being quiet because I was got 3 minutes.
Hey, you
Oh,
Ain't
still got
nobody
2 more
saying
minutes.
nothing.
you
Go,
got
Ain't
cut
go,
off
nobody
go,
after
saying
go
about
away.
nothing.
2 minutes.
Go away. Go away. Go away. You still got 2 more minutes. Nah, yeah, very well put, brother. I would say we should not have to cheat or should not have to exercise our options. We shouldn't, but we do. We need to deal with this in a realistic standpoint, just like Uru's been trying to tell us. We're in an environment where the rules are set against us. So if you decide to get married in the United States, know the rules are set against you. And you just got to be willing to do what you need to do. If you abandon your marriage, especially if you have children, you stand to lose a lot. Even Roger has said he watched his father buy another house. Why do that when you could just buy a $40 home? Come on, man. Do the math. Stick in there, Get it over with. At least till your children get old enough, get some equity out your home, and then go your separate ways. We got to be smart. And if we're telling this to young men that are coming up behind us, we have to tell them to be intelligent, be smart. Don't go off your emotions. Have a plan according to what's happening to you. Abandoning your marriage because she is not allowing you to she's not giving you sex, it's a bad situation, and it's a bad plan. You have to remove yourself from that situation strategically, and it's unfortunate. It's going to have to be long term if you're going to be smart about it. We're going to let Roger come back up here, man. I'm finna start throwing chairs, man. I'm finna start throwing chairs. This is crazy.
Shout out to Elder Blood, man. He says, secret, lazy, layman ass explanation of black women and white men's new world order. Simply put, the white man makes the law, policy, or suggestion, and the black woman ferociously enforces it against black men. And I do agree with that, and I believe that's part of what's going on. And at the end of the day, I don't want to play that game. And I'm gonna say, yeah, realistically, if a woman ain't having sex with me, I'm gonna say something about it way before 2 months came. Because my whole thing is, this is something we gonna do every day. We starting with every day, so we should never get to 2 months of nothing. It just shouldn't happen. And if we gonna say something about it, something gonna be said way before 2 months came up. But at the end of the day, if everybody's out to get me, I gotta look out for me. I might as well save my money and stop paying these bills. I probably got a good 2-3 months before it all starts to catch up, and we good to go. You know, and what some judge gonna tell me I gotta continue to pay for a marriage that I don't have? That don't make no sense to me. I'm sorry, it just don't.
Man,
Why
when
pay
you
for a
got
marriage I don't have?
when you got $200,000-300,000 worth of equity in a house, I promise you ain't gonna be thinking like you thinking now. You ain't gonna be ready to let the bank have that back. I'm telling, bro, man, and you, bro, you off on
and
this.
and 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 to have and to have that on your credit for 10 years and all of the problems you're going to have going forward with respect to getting decent housing, and you got children, so you got to be especially concerned about housing, and you want to be able to have a house in an area with a good school system if you get custody of children. But guess what? It's going to be very difficult to do that with a foreclosure on your record. So, I mean, I don't know what kind of world y'all talking about, man. I'm just, I'm gonna
not
get
y'all,
mad because
not
I ain't
y'all,
getting no
Elder.
pussy. So I'm just gonna stop
That's
paying
Roger's
bills.
world.
Well, you know,
That's
you
Roger's
know what
world,
y'all
Elder.
mean.
Yeah, I know, but that's
I
Roger over
mean,
there living in
Roger and
Narnia.
people who think like it. Roger and people
I'm
who think like
saying.
it. That's what I mean. Yeah.
Look, man, when
Oh
you
my
got
goodness.
when you got 2-3 months of not paying bills, you go out and you get your department way before any of that stuff hit the fan. That's what you
No,
do.
listen,
Listen,
Roger,
again, so you're gonna end up with
Roger.
the same results, bro. That's what I'm saying. You're gonna end up being the same statistic that we sit on this panel and talk about. You're gonna be the same unproductive, bad decision making brother that we sit on this panel and roast because you have taken yourself out of position because you let a decision that a woman made guide your decision. And at the end of the day,
Roger,
you're making a decision based on what her decision is. So she's in the driver's seat, not you. So as much as you talk, she's in the driver's seat because you did not say after 2 months, I ain't getting none. She got to go. She can get out. No, you said I'm going to leave, and your mama did this, so it's your mama's fault. You sound like Jermaine's fault. It's always Jermaine's fault. That's how it sounds. It's just reverse, bro. And I know it's uncomfortable to hear. It really is. It's hard to say, but bro, nah, you're not on the right side of the track on this one, bro.
Okay,
For real.
well,
look, Roger, let me save you. Let me save you, Roger. I'm gonna save
save
you
me.
if you let me.
No,
Yes, I'm
that
gonna
he
save
said
you.
if you
Listen, I'm gonna save him. I'm gonna save him. Cause see, this is what's happening. Roger is lying, but he don't know it. He's lying. Listen, this is what's gonna happen in this same scenario, this same situation we keep talking about. If this occurs, and God forbid it ever occurs, he gonna remember those times he was driving down Cicero, and like he was talking about earlier, and he waved at the little young lady, and how easy it was for her to get in the car, and he didn't know what was going on, but he gonna remember that, and he gonna be like, "Well, it was only $100." Yeah, that's what's gonna happen. See, right now he's just a little emotional about the situation, but when he faced with that situation, he gonna remember those two opportunities that he's admitted to where it was easy to get a young lady in the car.
Well,
It's gonna be the easiest fix in the world.
I'm gonna say
If it's sex, if it's 2 months of sex that gets you to throw your marriage away, I hate for her to do something even worse, like give somebody else money for 2 months. You know what I'm saying? Don't buy groceries for 2 months. She don't take a shower for 2 months. You're gonna stay for all of that, but if she don't give up the hoo-ha, you out of there.
He don't understand that when you
Oh my
married and your
goodness.
wife go 30 days without giving you some. When you go down to Cicero, that reset the 30 days.
Look, I'm gonna say this. I'm throwing some
You
good
know.
stuff out there because number one, it's a show. It's got to be entertaining, and there's always some new strategies that need to be considered here and there. And I think that was a great new strategy to throw on the table. And yeah, I still don't see that big of a problem with it because it could win. When you do something new, you never know how the results gonna be. Because I ain't never heard of a guy who tried that before. I ain't saying a guy
Wow.
didn't. I ain't never heard of a guy who tried it before. But when it's new, you can get some different results sometimes. And
You
shout
know
out to
why?
And
Joseph. Let me read
this is
this.
the
Let me read
one
this.
time okay.
Let me read this. Shout out to Joseph Tucker. He said 2 weeks without sex and no major illness is terrorism. And I'm gonna say shout out
It
to that
is.
brother for that because I can't agree. I got two more. Shout out to Emerald 72. He said this is a case of law and order. SVU Roger on trial. I swear they got me on trial. I swear they got me on trial. Even though I have said everything is not about me. I got to do certain things for show purposes. Everything is not about me. So I came up with a new strategy to throw on the table. They ain't seem to be jiving with it, but I'm still thinking about it. It sounds pretty decent to me. Shout out to
No, we are
Inspired True
not
Broadcast.
fucking with this.
He says $100 or $200 equity. Okay, so he's trying to take me down at
Yeah.
the Cicero too. Okay, that's what that
No,
is.
no. You read that wrong. You read
Yeah.
that
You
wrong.
read that
He
Oh
wrong.
yeah.
Yeah.
said,
Yeah.
Are you gonna spend $100 or you gonna throw away 200K worth of
Equity.
equity? That's what he's saying.
Okay.
That's
Yeah. My
exactly what
bad.
he's
Do
My
saying.
bad.
the math.
Okay, look. I'm not. I'm going to acknowledge y'all got a good point. Depending upon how much equity has already been placed in that home, that is something a man is going to have to
Wait,
consider.
Roger.
That's a legitimate point.
It, it's more than $100, bro. So it's more than $100, bro.
Hey, I'm saying you have a good point about the equity that's already been placed in that home. At the end of the day, that is a extremely good point. Okay.
Listen,
Uh,
I think you need to have a good conversation with your dad, man. I think you need to go have a good conversation with him and ask him, hey man, give me the nitty gritty, because these boys getting on me today. Tell him what we talked about. Tell him what we talked about today and say, man, them
first
boys were
of
getting
all,
on me today.
First of all, it's gonna
Hang
be a
on.
whole
Hang on.
different
Wait, wait,
thing
wait.
once we come off air. What I'm saying. I'm coming with
Wait, no. Oh, I
I ain't coming
understand.
with
No, but
Millionaire. I'm coming with what's the other one? Throw ahead. The Thunder Strike, whatever that was. I'm coming with Stormbreaker. I'm coming with Stormbreaker.
Stormbreaker.
Once the
Okay,
show's over
okay,
with, I'm coming with Stormbreaker. Real talk. I'm being real nice while we
okay,
on air. Okay, but
okay,
shout out to
okay,
Elder Blood.
okay.
Shout out to Elder Blood. He says if black men treat black women like white men have treated white women over the last 400 years and longer, black men today would not be having problems if you catch the meaning. And I'm gonna say, hey, maybe we'll, when something don't work, sometimes you just gotta change the strategy, y'all. Now I know what I'm saying is a new strategy because I don't have any reference that anyone has ever tried this before. I really haven't. But I am being realistic now. If I don't want to pay for a woman. If this marriage is finna dissolve, we gonna act like it's getting dissolved. I'm not gonna pretend for people. That's the show. And I was trying to get some time for Brump
Realistic.
to come up or come back, but I guess he ain't coming back. Maybe he got a phone call or something like that.
Man, go down there to
All I'm
Cicero and
gonna
pay for
say,
that $40 mediation, man.
Well, hold on. Let's do it like this. Let's do it like this. And Chef Mike, you go ahead and make a closing statement, and then we'll work our way back to Black Uru, and we'll shut it down. But Stormbreaker coming after the show, y'all. Stormbreaker coming. And if y'all are new here, go ahead and subscribe to the channel because we have the best conversations on social media, y'all. I don't be lying when I say you found the best show on social media because this definitely is. And that's real talk. So, Chef Mike, why don't you go first and we'll work our way back to Black Uru.
all right, Roger, I appreciate you having me up today. Definitely appreciate the conversation, the different points of view. Um, it is a diverse point of view. Should you not listen? I am definitely along the lines of Black Uru. I don't care what men do to get to the point where we can, as a collective, be productive men. Whatever it takes you to get to that point, that's what you do. You ain't got to tell me about it. You ain't got to boast about it. Just get to the point where we can be productive men and we can move our community forward. I land my plane there. Great having a conversation with you, John.
I appreciate it, brother. Appreciate it. Into it, you next.
Yeah, real quick. I haven't been around. You don't have to cheat. I believe men shouldn't have to cheat. I believe that we as black men need to become more disciplined in that department anyway. Even if your woman's not cooperating, you try to look for other options out there. My children come first, and I had to learn that the hard way. I had to realize I got kids. My kids have always been first, even for my wife. I'm gonna be honest with you. My wife, a lot of my wife may complain about that issue, but my children come first. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm working for. My needs in the flesh, well, they can be fulfilled in other ways if I communicate it, let people know what my needs are. I'm gonna let my wife know about that. But other than that, I'm gonna try to get those needs met within my marriage. If I can't do that, I'm going outside, and she wants to get a divorce or anything like that. I'm working towards, like I said, it's my kids. I'm a man. A man is worried about his seed and carrying that on. It's really not that much about the woman for me. That's my opinion. It's about my seed. It's about where my kids are going. That's it.
Okay. This penis ain't free. What you got on it?
I think that was a closing statement right there. That was the ultimate closing statement right there, Roger. That's what you call the ultimate closing statement.
It's his statement to make it. That's how you want to make it.
I like it. I like it.
That's how you want to make his statement, man. All right, well, no placeholders on you, brother.
Yeah, Roger. Yes, it's kind of hard to follow that up, but nevertheless, let's say that with your opinion. I agree with your overall assessment, Roger, about being up front and just handling it the way that you deem fit. I see the logic behind what GBR it mentions, but that's obviously what's going on. Most men retain the situation and just find alternatives. I think that essentially, like, I don't know. I would just recommend just not getting into the situation if that's the way I'm going forward, because I'm saying, I don't know, that's just kind of like my philosophy. If you're gonna get married to someone, it's like an ultimate like privilege and honor. So it's like I'm saying, it's like so it's like I don't know. Like Roger said, if something medical happens and she has a reason that she can't, then I'm saying I would, even at that point I still would have to talk to her and let her know that, hey, I mean, I'm saying I'm still a man. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to disrespect you, but essentially this is how I'm going to go about it. But yeah, I'm saying, but yeah, Roger, the whole thing about not paying, I agree with Chef. That's not functional. And saying, and it kind of is delusional. It's not going to work out the way you think it's going to work out, Roger. You're going to take a bigger L. I'm letting you know that, Roger. And that person in the audience that mentioned about the judge holding you accountable for that, they're not playing around, Roger. They will fucking they will get into your paycheck right now. Like I'm saying, Like immediately as she filed, they would get right into your paycheck and start making sure you make those bill payments. But we'll talk about that after the show.
All right, appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. Epiphany, it's on you, brother.
There's a reason why the oldest profession is the oldest profession. It has saved many a marriages over the course of time. Don't throw your whole life away when all you got to do is throw away $40. I'm gonna land my plane now.
All right, Black Rule. That means you got it.
Yeah, I think Chef and Lisa, kind of expressed my opinion on it. I get this honor thing, and I get what the brother Intuit said. I think he makes a valid point for him and for a lot of men. A lot of it is about situation and where you are in life and that sort of thing. But I gotten look at, and again, maybe this is the nihilist in me to some degree. I just don't see any perfect approach to dealing with this issue in this environment. I think you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. It's either gonna dissolve because you were caught cheating, or it's going to dissolve because she's not going to do what you wanted to do, or both, or she's going to cheat on you. In this environment, there's no perfect setup, no perfect fix. It's a very feminist environment, which means that sabotage is inherently imbued in the situation. Maybe you improve your chances if you get a non-FBA woman who's going to be compliant with you and more supple to the issue of a man having discretionary access. I mean, if you deal with a woman from a background where there's some training on that issue, where there's some understanding on that issue, then it probably will work for you to be very upfront about that and make some kind of arrangements for you to be able to do that. This is not the environment to do that in. This is not the environment where that works in. And I don't care how honest you are with a dishonest person, in a dishonest system. It will be used against you. Your honor, your integrity will be used against you. So you just have to, again, just make the best decision for yourself in that matter. And respect the fact, and I will respect the fact that good, decent men will have some different opinions about what should be done with this. Because believe you me, I am not going to be peeping in any of y'all bedrooms. And I really don't want you peeping in mine. And I guess I'll just end my statement.
Well, I think that's well said, especially that last part. And realistically speaking, y'all, I've seen it time and time again about how I'm not going to go inside somebody else's bedroom to regulate what they doing. Because if I accept that, that means they get to come regulate what I'm doing. And since I don't want none of you niggas in my bedroom, you do what you want to do. The fact that this was didn't make our code of how we're going to operate as black men. The fact that not cheating did not make the list. I think today has a lot of reasons on why it did not make the list. Obviously, it shouldn't have made the list. Your own personal moral situation is your own personal moral situation. And at the end of the day, if the women are going to be hoes and we can't trust what they say, then I can't really accept the argument that they have to really trust what we say. I prefer being a man of integrity. So I just deal with a woman of integrity. And if you're not that, I'm gonna start treating you like an enemy. And that's just real for me. Okay. I'm gonna treat you like an enemy. And you know what? Maybe it don't work out. We're gonna have to find out though. We're gonna have to find out. We'll see what it do. And that's real talk. So Yeah, I think it's been a great show. I think we had a lot of great stuff said. It's been wonderful. If you're new, subscribe to the channel. If you came late, rewind this one and catch it from the beginning, because this was just fire all the way through. Y'all have a great weekend. Long live the... Oh, Sunday we will be reviewing for the culture, The Banker, y'all. We're gonna be reviewing the Sunday night, 6 p.m. We're doing The Banker. If you want to catch that. Other than that, y'all have a great weekend. Long live the Habitual Line Steppers. I'm Roger. I'm right. And I'm out.